If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family. There's no family.
There's no family like my family.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations, with 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future. T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
The rain earlier in the day has come and gone, making way for the lights at McKeon Park to activate for some playoff baseball. For the second time in as many years, Hyannis and Bourne meet for the Western Division crown of the Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs presented by Dunkin'. Game 1 of the Western Division Finals is brought to you by Torino, and it starts now. So happy to have you with us inside the Tim Elstrom broadcast booth. Mickey Doolittle alongside Jacob Irons, and we could not be more excited to bring you this series, a rematch of last year.
Yeah, when you look at these two teams, they have been fighting, and Bourne's very cognizant of it. They've got it on the front of their jersey saying, run it back. And for Hyannis, they want to run it back as well, but this time with a little more victory in their flavor. Bourne was able to take him down in 2 straight last time. They don't want to have that happen again. And now they have home field advantage here at McKeon Park, and they hope that could be the difference maker in being able to propel them forward into the championship.
Yeah, obviously last year, Bourne was the best team in the West Division during the regular season. This season, a little bit different story. Hyannis, the second best team in all of the league. If it weren't for Cotuit, they would be atop of the West Division in the regular season. But coming off of that series, Bourne has beaten that number 1 team in the league, Cotuit. They're coming in with a lot of momentum. They're feeling good about themselves right now.
They are, but you also have to look into the other dugout in Hyannis. They feel confident for a Falmouth team that had a little bit of their number in those last 2 regular season meetings, then to be able to, take care of business here at McKeon Park in that first matchup, and then to come back off of the back of Trey Lipsy in Game 2 to be able to get an off day yesterday was huge. Both team has momentum. There is no pendulum swinging one way or the other. Both of them have the momentum. Both of them are ready to go. And you're going to see some great baseball out there today because Scott Landers, the manager for the Bourne Braves, and Eric Beatty, the manager of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, both know what playoff baseball means to this Cape Cod Baseball League, and they know how to get their guys ready. And right now, both teams got their guys ready.
Yeah, it feels like 2 runaway freight trains running right at each other right now because both these teams have so much momentum. It's always really entertaining to see how these two those two type of teams play out in a playoff series like this one. So normally it tends to be close series. It could be two close games that end up going one way. Really, anything is on the table right now, isn't it?
Everything is on the table and anything. And however, the only thing you do know, Game 1 is pivotal in a 3-game series, which this Western Division final is. If you can get Game 1, that is huge. That builds your momentum and takes a little bit more of a relaxed approach into Game 2, that knowing no matter what, that you're able to try and lock things up, that if you don't go your way in Game 2, you have the if necessary in that Game 3. So along those lines, Game 1 is huge. I'll look for both dugouts to be proactive in that series tonight.
Yeah, and Zach Volker going for Hyannis tonight. He had a great start against Wareham a couple of weeks ago, has been a little bit up and down since then, but certainly a guy with a high ceiling tonight.
Yeah, he has been fabulous. When you look at Zach Volker, Eric Luxus touches upon it in the pregame show. Volker is ready to go. He has his stuff. He's consistent, and what Eric Luxus talks about in that pregame show, he competes. Every night he's going to go out there and give them a shot. And right now, through looking at the sequencing and looking at the matchup, his high fastball is going to be proven hard to hit right now for these Bourne Braves who don't like it and normally swing and miss at elevated fastballs.
Yeah, and to talk more about it, Bria Losick caught up with assistant GM Zach Chase.
From McKeon Park, I'm Bria Losick alongside Assistant General Manager Zach Chase, coming back for this playoff series. So, Zach, first of all, what's it like, being away for some of the season, not being able to be at the ballpark all the time, but getting to come back for such an exciting time?
Well, on one hand, being away is, as you'd imagine, pretty tough. You put in a lot of time into this, and obviously you care so much, and there's only so much you can do far away, and you can't rile everyone else up because they're obviously doing their best too. But then when you get to this part of the season, you get to be here for these moments and be around for the biggest time of the year. Obviously, it's so fulfilling, and it puts everything in perspective. It makes everything that I and we and all put into this year worth it, and it's obviously a very exciting time, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Yesterday, the baseball operations department put in countless hours going through scouting reports, really trying to get the guys prepared for the Bourne Braves today. What was that like, being in that meeting, communicating with the coaches and getting to show them all the work that you guys did?
Well, frankly, I'd only heard about them from the outside before I got in to see them. So, yeah, getting to see it up close, I mean, you can't say enough about what our baseball ops team has done for the entirety of this summer. And I say this not just from a team-wide perspective, but from my own, being that getting married and stuff, I didn't have as much time earlier in the season, and they're the ones that filled in the cracks, and we're doing all the scouting reports that me and the rest of the staff were doing last year, and it's just continued right on here. And I tell every single intern that comes in here that it's exactly what you make of it. It's no different for me. It's the same for everyone. And what these interns have done on our baseball ops team is exactly that. They've taken it and they've run with it. They've made it their own. They take pride in it. And that's exactly why the coaches are there listening and using it for game planning, because you didn't just throw it together in 5 minutes. They put in the time. They're watching clip after clip after clip until they get where they want to be, and they have our strategy where we need it to be. So all credit to them for such a professional job, and credit to our coaches for coming in and hearing everything and getting ready to go, and let's hope it all is put to good use.
What were the takeaways from that meeting?
Well, a number of them, first of all. I mean, you have to take away, first of all, your different tendencies of what you're going to do against different hitters. Bourne's top of the lineup is especially dangerous. Vastine is... You have to keep him off the bases. He is just the straw that stirs their drink. He's going to steal a ton of bags, very fast, very clever with his jumps. And then behind him, you have two very experienced hitters in Eblin and Kuroda Grauer. They were here last year. They won a championship. You have Bender, one of the best hitters in the league this year. I mean, you need to be on your game at the top of that lineup, or else you're going to be in trouble. And if you keep Vastine off and can limit him, that will be so huge, because it denies them that ability to get to second base after just a single and put a runner in scoring position. That will be huge for us in keeping runs off the board against this Bourne team.
The Dugout Show and the pregame show rolls on here at McKeon Park alongside pitching coach Eric Luxus. Coach, big series win over Falmouth, and big come-from-behind victory to get Game 2 in your favor, to get a day off yesterday.
Yeah, it was a huge series for us. Our goal was to get it done in 2, and we were able to do that. The offense came through late for us in that second-round game to give us an off day, but these guys are in the same boat on the other side of the field today. So we're both rested and we're ready to go for tonight.
Ultimately, taking the start today will be Zach Volker, a guy that's in his second year here on Hyannis. What do you look for Zach Volker to do to give you guys a shot going into this one?
Well, I'll tell you that he's going to compete. That's something that he does every single time he takes the balls. He's a great competitor. I think the experience, too, him being the second-year guy here, I think the experience will play off big, that he's been in these kind of games and these moments before, and hopefully he can just relax and breathe and get the job done for us tonight.
Second time you are seeing Bourne in second consecutive years in this Western Division Finals. Is there a little bit for coaching staff with you and Skipper Beatty that feel like you guys got to get pushed through after last time falling short to them?
Well, I mean, this is where we were last year, right? So we made it to the Final Four last year, and this is where our season ended. And, you know, they roll into our place today, and their shirts say run it back. So it just kind of brings you back to last year a little bit. But, you know, we're excited to be out here. It's a different year. It's a different team with pretty much a whole different roster. But, you know, you can't forget about the history, and they're still the champions until somebody knocks them down.
Ultimately, a thing that played a very large factor early in Game 1 of that Falmouth series was the home atmosphere. What are you looking for that atmosphere here at McKeon Park to bring here today in Game 1?
I mean, the guys thrive on good energy. I mean, they do, whether it's a home game, and then if you get some people that hop on the road, like that stuff helps. It helps a lot more than outsiders realize. But, you know, starting at home here tonight, it should be great for us. And if for some reason we have to get to Game 3, you know, that'll be big again. But, again, it's just focusing on what's inside the white lines as well. And as long as we do what we're supposed to do, then we'll be okay. But the atmosphere is fun and it isn't exciting.
Eric Luxus here on the Coaches Show. Pregame show rolls on after this.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
The 2023 Cape Cod Baseball League postseason is finally upon us. 10 teams started the year hoping to see their names in August, but now only 8 remain, all with aspirations of hearing their name called as the league's next champion in its centennial season. For Hyannis and manager Eric Beatty's second year at the helm, they look to continue a storied season filled with suspense and drama into the postseason. They expect their plethora of memorable moments throughout the season, such as an unprecedented ninth-inning comeback versus crosstown rival Bates, the heroics, to a masterful pitching performance of one-hit ball in Hartford, Connecticut,
swung on and missed, ball game,
to a perfectly placed hit by Bennett Thompson down the line to beat Wareham, has all prepared them to make new memories in the month of August. And they hope a sky full of stars shines in blue and orange. The first round of the Cape Cod Baseball League postseason starts today, with teams' quest to hoist the Arnold Mycock Trophy beginning. Hyannis is ready for postseason baseball. Are you?
Last year spelled heartbreak for Hyannis, who came up just short of their first Western Division title since 2015. 12 months later, they find themselves in the same spot, starting down the 2-time division champions in a row. And welcome back to McKeon Park. Once again, Mickey Doolittle alongside Jacob Irons, and today it is a great day for baseball. Perfect weather.
Yeah, perfect weather indeed. A little overcast, but a little bit of rain gave way for everything you could have wanted. And Zach Volker out on the mound is going to be ecstatic for the conditions today. Really coming in a very strong season so far to the end. And something that Eric Luxis touched upon in the pregame show, it's a year 2 man. He has been here for a second season, and now he's able to do this again. And now to be out here for another playoff, that is huge in this spot. And then on the whip for 1.50, that is exactly what you want in this situation. He's going to face a little bit of traffic, but Volker's going to be confident in his pitches, and like I touched upon, he's going to work that high fastball tonight.
Yeah, limiting base runners is key. He's mostly a fastball, curveball, slider guy. He will mix in the slider, maybe sometimes a cutter and a changeup, but mostly those 3 pitches. And those are the pitches that he will be using against this Bourne Braves lineup.
And this is the Bourne Braves lineup, starting things off with Vastine today for the Bourne Braves, the shortstop leading things off. Then behind him is Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, the second baseman, who had the sac fly in that extra inning thrilling victory for the Braves to push them forward into the Western Division Finals in 2 games. And Bryce Eblin, third baseman. Eblin, who batted a clean .367, finishing third on the Cape in batting average. Then behind him, Derek Bender, the catcher, who finished only 1 point behind Falmouth's Travis Bazana to come in second in batting average at .374. And then Kendall Diggs out of the University of Arkansas, the right fielder today. Garrett Michelle will designate a hitter, normal the typical first baseman, but behind him is New Contradas. The first baseman and catcher is at first base today for the Braves. Behind him is Sam Peterson, the left fielder, and Pete Chufreda rounds out the Braves lineup for Game 1 of this Western Division Finals Series.
Very excited for this one. Volker is ready to go. Vastine ready to go as well. Game 1 is about set from McKeon Park. Beautiful night for baseball. 75 degrees and partly cloudy. First pitch on the way is a fastball for a called strike at 92 miles an hour. First pitch, 6 o'clock on the dot.
We always love promptness up here, Mickey, and when you get it right on at 6 and it's playoff baseball, nothing better.
Popped foul, left side. Vastine out of Vanderbilt, SEC player. Of course, we know the great predominance of the SEC conference and them pumping out players. 0-2 on the way, up and away. Missed with a fastball. There's the high fastball that we said that we'd look out for.
Yeah, that 93-mile-an-hour fastball up there, and it's the question of how close and how necessary flirting with the zone does it need to be.
1-2, a swing and a miss. Good start for Volker. One away.
And we talked about how important getting ahead in counts was, and that's going to be huge. He was dictating that pace here, and Volker's not the only other guy out in the field here today. It's going to be Trey Lipsy, Will Taylor, and Zach Earhart left to right in the outfield. Cam Smith, John Gazdar, Elijah Hainline, Brandon Ike, and Thompson behind the plate to round out the fielding lineup for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, it's a Harbor Hawks defense that, again, in the second half of the year has really come on, especially up the middle. Hainline and Gazdar, those 2 additions have been fantastic. As a ground ball to the aforementioned Hainline at second. He fields it cleanly, throws to first, and there's 2 away for Zach Volker. Nice start.
And you're able to work effective and efficient. We talk about the 2 E's in baseball all the time, Mickey, and especially for your starting pitcher to not labor in that first inning of work. Sometimes the toughest, that's huge for both their confidence and their momentum going out through the rest of the game.
Bourne was down to their final strike against Cotuit in Game 2 2 nights ago on Saturday. And this is the man in Bryce Eblin who stood up with 2 strikes, lined an RBI single to right center field to extend the game, send it to extras, and ultimately put Bourne in the Western Division Finals as it's 2-0 to him. Clutch hitting has always been a thing Bourne has been really, really solid at. Saw it in last year's playoffs. 2-0 from Volker, misses way high with an off speed. It was a curveball. Typically you'll see that averaging around 75 miles an hour for Volker. has thrown 177 miles an hour this year. There's a get-me-over fastball for strike one.
Yeah, and Volker's going to be a predominantly fastball-heavy pitcher along with a curveball behind him, slider, also has a cutter and a changeup all mixed in there, so has a large arsenal that he can go to.
3-1. Look out, Bourne dugout, and he's battled back from 3-0 to 3-2. Now is a chance to set Bourne down 1-2-3.
Both pitchers today in this contest, if you're being able to be ahead in counts and battle, that's huge.
Full count offering. Tapped at the plate, foul. We'll do it again. 76 miles an hour on the curveball. The dangerous Derek Bender stands on deck, and he's a guy that you always want to try and bring up with 2 outs and nobody on. Line drive over the head of Heinlein at second. And there's the first base runner of the ball game, so Bender will come up to the plate in the first.
It's a great climb of the ladder by Heinlein, just missing a couple inches upstairs in that spot, so does a good job to be able to jump up there. Just had a little bit of a couple more inches on his frame. He would have been able to get up there and grab it. But now you have Derek Bender, like you talked about, huge if you can retire him with 2 outs here and allow Eblin to be a second thought.
95 miles an hour off the bat, but here's the dangerous Derek Bender who takes a strike on the outer third of the plate.
But ultimately, you have to be concerned with this Bourne Braves being on. This is a steal-heavy team. They led the CCBL in the regular season in stolen bases. So if you get runners on, they're going to make you pay, and they're going to be aggressive on the base paths.
109 stolen bases on the year. This is a team that stole more than they weren't. They were also thrown out the most in the league, but their percentage was relatively okay. 1-1 in there for a strike.
And through their 2 games, they already have 3 stolen bases as well. So continuing that trend up so far in this postseason.
The next closest was 82 in Falmouth. 1-2, missed in the dirt.
And that's why you bring Bennett Thompson in, a fabulous defensive catcher here, because balls in the dirt, Bourne will take advantage of them, and they won't even think twice about going.
Eblin gets his lead from first. Another 2-2. Popped up, right side. Brandon Ike, the first baseman, ranges over on the warning track, makes the play. Great work from Zach Volker to get out of the first inning. Hyannis will come to the plate here in this Game 1 of the Dunkin' Donuts Cape Cod League Baseball Playoffs.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle, up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust. Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Volker, a great first inning, and now it's time for Hyannis to answer.
Yeah, Hyannis will step out, leading things off with Zach Earhart, the right fielder from Oklahoma State. Then behind him will be John Gazdar, the shortstop, who has been fabulous so far, hitting .545 in the postseason. John Gazdar is. It's been fabulous. Cam Smith behind him, the third baseman, the top prospect award he won for this season at the Cape Cod Baseball League. Brandon Ike, the later addition from the Coastal Plain Leagues, is batting in the cleanup spot from Virginia Commonwealth University. Bennett Thompson doing the catching today, and from Oregon. Trey Lipsy, the left fielder, who put the team on his back in Falmouth, getting 4 runs batted in to be able to sneak that one in extra innings to be able to get Hyannis to this point. Eric Snow behind him, the designated hitter today out of the University of South Florida. Snow, a fabulous guy, another guy coming into his own at the right moment. Will Taylor, teammates of Tristan Smith, who takes the bump for the Bourne Braves today out of Clemson University. And Elijah Hainline, the second baseman, transferring to Oregon State, rounds out the Harbor Hawks lineup here in this game 1.
Yeah, and that will be up against Tristan Smith, who was phenomenal this year for Bourne. 23 innings, only 4 runs allowed, a 1.56 earned run average, and every statistical category is just unbelievable.
And when you have that opportunity, you looked at his last appearance versus Hyannis. The biggest thing for Smith is, can you get him out of the game? How quickly can you get him out of this game? Because it will be huge if you're able to get Tristan Smith, because 5 innings and only giving up 3 hits was costly. And he runs inside on righties, so don't be afraid to see some Hyannis baseball of hit by pitches here early in this contest.
So here's Earhart to lead it off. He takes a strike, a fastball, and you're going to see a lot of those fastballs the first time through the order. It's a healthy dose of them no matter where you are, but especially early in the game.
Yeah, Tristan Smith, 69% of his pitches are that fastball, so it is a high velocity out of his fastball, slider, changeup, curveball arsenal that he has on the bump.
And Zach Earhart has really come into his own after a rough start to the season, has really recovered and takes a ball outside, and that's a big part of it. Plate discipline, being able to find a way to get on by any means necessary, finding a way to draw a walk, get on base, and we know what he can do on base. He is a dangerous base stealer. Here's the 2-1, and it is in there, inner third of the plate. Count even at 2-2.
Yeah, Earhart missing 3 points away from cracking over that 300 mark, batting .297 in the regular season. Really tough one. He just needed one more hit in that final Bourne game to be able to put him over that.
2-2 is a line drive to left field. Peterson jogs to his left and makes the play for the first out. And just to wrap it up on Earhart, I was standing with general manager Nick Johnson, and he was trying to get him to bunt against Bourne in that final game of the season in his final at-bat to try and get that average above 300, but he was not quite able to do it. Still a great season for him, as John Gazdar will stand in, another guy who's had a great season. First pitch, another fastball that misses down and in. Gazdar so far in the playoffs, 6 for 11 with a pair of doubles on Friday and 2 runs batted in. Head in the count, 1-0. Missed outside.
Gazdar is playing good baseball at the right time. That's what matters. And through talking to John Gazdar, when you have that ability, that's huge.
2-0 on the way. Foul back. He was on it. There's a center cut fastball that John just missed. So now 2-1. Aggressiveness, especially ahead in the count. He got the fastball that he was looking for, and typically when you see it go straight back to the screen, it means he's on it. There's an off-speed pitch that missed low.
This is something the Harbor Hawks have done all year long, working disciplined approaches.
Fouled back, and the count will run full.
For Smith here now, already throwing 10 pitches. If you're able to work him up, that's what we talked about, is huge.
3-2 the count to Gazdar. He fouls another one away. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Gazdar, another guy making his moment known here in this postseason, not just for his .545 batting average, but Arsenal bringing in 3 runners to cross home plate.
Grounder to short. Vastine is going to have to wait for it. He throws, pulls Contreras off the bag, but he's able to get his foot back on it. And that's the second out of the first inning.
At Contreras, and we met Vastine and Peterson. Let's see who meets everybody else that's joining behind Smith. It will be Peterson, Jufreda, and Diggs left to right in the outfield Eblin, Vastine, Kuroda, Grauer, and Contradas left to right in the infield, and battery mate of Smith, Derek Bender.
The first pitch to Cam Smith is a fastball that missed down and in. 1-0 to Smith is another pitch that misses, and Smith, of course, you mentioned it earlier, the most valuable pro prospect on the Cape Cod Baseball League this year. A guy with all the tools to go high in the draft, whether that be the first round and get to the major leagues very, very soon.
You have to imagine there is scouts all over Cape Cod and in a large majority of those meetings saying, I found a kid that I like. It does not matter what team you are. He can bring a lot to whatever franchise you're in, no matter where you are and what development and what stage you are as an MLB franchise. Because you look at Cam Smith, he is ready to deliver for your program.
And a big part of that is his personality and his willingness to change and adjust, and very likable person as he sees a 2-2 that is called strike 3 on the inner third of the plate. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, a perfectly placed fastball by Smith. And that will end the first inning. So to the second we go, still no score here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Hell, Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you in a club with?
All about it. Hell, Mama.
Welcome back to Game 1 here in Hyannis, where we'd like to remind you that the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all season long thanks to the NAC Cape Cod. The NAC offers 2 convenient locations, Hyannis and Orleans, both offering delicious burgers, tacos, sandwiches, and more. Visit thenacapecod.com to order online today. The NAC Cape Cod is proud to be the Light Up the Park sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all season long. Zach Volker out for another inning of work. He looked really good in that first inning, only allowing the single to Eblin, but other than that, retired some dangerous hitters.
And coming out strong when you get to have very minimal traffic. We talked about he was going to have some traffic behind him, but to have traffic with 2 outs, that's huge because you're just looking for that extra out to push you over, and to be able to get Derek Bender out without having really a lot of concern for him is huge. Now you get to go on to Diggs, Michelle, and Contradas with a little bit more of a sense of ease.
So here is Diggs, first pitch to him. Catches just outside, 1-0. Diggs out of the University of Arkansas. If you see the A on his helmet, I initially thought that was Alabama. Those hats always throw me off. Their A's look very similar, Jacob.
They got a little bit of the Razorback in the A a little bit. You can see it. See if you know the mascot, Mickey. You're ready to go
there. I know the
there.
mascot. 1-1 is a swing and a miss. Good lively fastball from Volker. Arkansas, of course, has that great baseball program. They've been very successful over the last couple of years. 1-2. Ground ball to short. John up with it on a couple of hops. Throws in time for the first out.
And if you're hearing it in your crowd mic tonight, the home factor of this McKeon Park is going to play a factor. You look at this tonight, and Eric Lux has talked about it, is that the guys feed off this energy, and you have a large Hyannis contingent here tonight that is ready. They are juiced. They've got noisemakers. They've got cowbells. They're ready to go.
So here's Garrett Michelle, takes a pitch down and in for ball 1. And you saw it in the last game against Falmouth. At Falmouth, there was a huge contingent of Hyannis fans that traveled with the team, made the trip about 45 minutes west, and really brought a ton of energy and willed on a comeback. In the 6th inning, it felt like everything flipped. There was a lot more energy. The fans started getting lively. The players in the dugout started getting lively. And you look up 2 innings later, and suddenly Hyannis is on top in that one. And a nice curveball from Volker. And it's quickly 1-2.
When you have that contingent, that's something Hyannis has been able to say a lot this year, is that they have had a large contingent traveling with them day in and day out, and having that fan base that's always with you on the road, knowing that they're going to be your biggest advocates, they're going to be their biggest supporters, is huge. That to know that no matter where you go, they're going to be there, and for playoffs, they are juiced traveling with you as well.
2-2 to Garrett Michelle, and he taps it foul.
But then on the other side, you look at Bourne, they traveled well here today. They've traveled well all season long, so it has a little bit of that high school feel of dueling fan bases that understand what's at stake for their communities here on the Cape.
Michelle sees it 2-2, and that's a fly ball foul. The communities that make up the Cape Cod Baseball League, whether it be Hyannis and Intuit or Leans, wherever, it's so unique. They're little towns where you're able to travel just a couple of minutes to go to away games, as just missed inside on a slider at 85 miles an hour. But you see that especially here with Bourne. Only about 30, 45 minutes depending on traffic away. 3-2 to Michelle is a blooper into left center field. Taylor into the gap, colliding with Lipsy, and Lipsy made the catch. They nearly came together in the left center field gap.
Yeah, this one, it's a tight play, and this is why playing so long is huge. Taylor at the last second dives out of the way of Lipsy. I don't know if they necessarily made contact. I think that's more Taylor laying out and trying to get his momentum away from Lipsy to not allow for a collision to occur. Smart move and great communication for him in avoiding a near catastrophic accident out there.
New Contratus, the hitter now, and those are such dangerous plays, running full sprint into the gap, covering a lot of ground.
A lot of ground, and that's why your left fielder Lipsy's played center. Your right fielder Earhart has played center. And Will Taylor, your center fielder, has played center, of course. So everyone has that great center field range, and they know all how to control an outfield as well. So having that versatility to run into the gaps is going to make those plays a little bit more tricky, because they're not always necessarily going to be the center field's ball.
There's just so much range in this outfield with Hyannis. As the 1-1 popped up, we're going to see the range here. Earhart lazily jogging in and makes the play for the 3rd out. Nice 1-2-3 inning from Zach Volker. And the Hyannis Harbor Hawks will grab the bat once again on the 2023 Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs, presented by Duncan.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Welcome back to Game 1 between Bourne and Hyannis, and there is the third base coach right now, but also the head coach of the Harbor Hawks, Coach Eric Beatty, also a Cape League Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Cape League Hall of Famer. That's what makes him so special coming up here to coach, is he's done it. He's competed at the highest level here on Cape Cod, had the 2nd lowest ERA, and now also coaches high school baseball down just outside of Florida. at Strawberry Crest High School in Florida. So really, when you look at this, he is a great guy to be able to lead these young men into that next step and hopefully leading them into a Cape Cod Baseball League playoff.
First pitch to Brandon Ike is roped into left center field, and it will get all the way to the wall. Ike rumbles into second with a leadoff double, and Hyannis is in business in the bottom of the second.
It's a great, clean piece of hitting from Brandon Ike from Vanderbilt, doing a good job to find the gaps. McKeon Park has a couple of those gaps, and take a look there. Great bat-on-ball contact that he's able to square up, and it's a hopper, and it's just perfectly placed between Peterson and Chufreda, and now it is massive if you're the Harbor Hawks, if you can get that first run across, because Harbor Hawks are 14-3 when scoring first in this game, and conversely, Bourne is 17-7 when scoring first, so getting that first crooked number on the board would be huge.
Yeah, and here's Bennett Thompson, a guy that has had a couple of clutch hits for Hyannis this year, trying to get that first run in.
Look at that beautifully placed hit down the line against Wareham to walk it off.
Thompson watches a fastball outside.
Once again, he came into this lineup a little late, a later addition, didn't have all that much time, had just over a week in the regular season to get adjusted, but now you can't imagine a lineup or a game without him contributing in some way.
Ahead in the count, 2-0. He's seen two fastballs. Third pitch, inner third of the plate, called strike. Another fastball at 91. As the corners were in for a second, as Ike stands at second, but now they'll back up. They were perhaps thinking Thompson would bunt, but now they're playing at normal depth. 2-1. Just missed down and in, and it's 3-1.
And this is why you love Bennett Thompson. He is very, very confident in taking pitches. He's not afraid to sit there and watch pitches go by him.
As it looked like somebody from the Bourne dugout, I presume it might be Scott Landers, their manager, disagreeing with that call, but the 3-1 misses down and in, and Bennett Thompson draws a walk on a nice at-bat.
And now you get 2 on in this spot for who else but Trey Lipsy in this situation. It's huge to be able to have that.
And Lipsy is 3 for 5 in the playoffs with 4 runs batted in. Hit that game-tying single in the 8th. And then a go-ahead double back on Saturday. As the pitch misses in the dirt, Bender can't corral it, and he doesn't know where it is. So Ike and Thompson will both move up, and with nobody out, no more double play opportunity for Bourne.
And a wild pitch that gets away, but when in doubt, go to Trey Lipsy so far in this postseason, because he has been a man. Game-tying hit in the 8th, game-winning hit in the 10th. What can't Trey do? And those cowbells brought to you by Nana Lipsy here as well. So even the Lipsy family contributing in big moments to bring in this energy, even though they might be away from the park.
They're multiplying. They started out with only 2 of them, and now everybody's caught on to the trend. There's a couple more today. So there you see the defense. The corners are in here for Bourne. Their defense almost halfway. As Lipsy ahead in the count, 2-0. Pitch from Smith in there for strike 1.
If you want to take a look at this wide shot, you're going to see Chufreda playing directly up the second base bag, and you're going to also have Diggs playing a little over. That's a huge gap right now in right center field in between the 2 outfielders against this lefty Lipsy.
2-1 to Lipsy is just in there. Catches the outer third, and it's even at 2-2.
Who is fabulous dip and dunk power. Just like a Dunkin' Donut, he's able to dunk it right in there and drop it in that shallow field. So with your outfielders playing that far back as well as allowing that big of a hole, that's a huge opportunity for Lipsy to try and take.
2-2 is a soft pop-up. Bender calls everybody off. and makes the play for the first out. Lipsy got beat up and in and was late on the fastball.
Yeah, came inside on him and just barreled it up and popped it directly up. Couldn't really get anything there, but now you have Eric Snow, the righty.
Yeah, Snow's been really good, but you touched on it earlier. Smith likes to keep that fastball in. He's really good at locating it on the inner third of the plate, or if he wants to come a little more in, he can do it. So here's Snow with one out and runners at second and third. Pitch misses in the dirt. Nice stop by Bender behind the plate.
And with runners at third and second, they're somewhat breathing down Bender's neck right now. Just one misstep could prove fatal in allowing the first run to come across if you're Bender. But you have one out if you're the Bourne Braves right now.
1-0 is high for ball 2. And we've seen it time and time again this year. Coming back to bite a defense. And now timeout's going to be called. So a very early mound visit for Bourne, as he is not happy with home plate umpire Mike Hinojosa in a 2-0 count. He was barking in towards home plate.
And here you're going to have big conversation as crowds trying to will it, make it difficult to hear. They're making this meeting get a little closer just to make sure it's a little harder to hear at McKeon Park. Even if no one has a noisemaker, they're banging their chairs, they're banging their feet. This is a big spot.
It's like when you try and disrupt the offensive communication in football at a football game. When you get loud when the opposing offense is on the field, you try and disrupt the signal callers. That was a lot of fun. So
big third down defense. Got to get loud in the. Got to get loud in the stadium. Same here.
It's like a Penn State whiteout game at McKeon Park. 2-0 to Snow. Catches the inner third for a strike. Nice fastball.
Now for Snow here. They fuel off of this. The Harbor Hawks fuel off of this energy here. So try and be able to propel them forward would be huge.
Here's the 2-1. It is in there for a strike. Another fastball that was a little bit outside, but still called a strike. Ike at third, Thompson at second. With one out in the bottom of the second, Tristan Smith trying to pitch his way out of a massive jam. Ground ball to the left side, gloved by Vastine. Throw to third is in time, but Hyannis plates the first run of the game.
That's a huge IQ play. If anyone watching wants to become that next big shortstop, that's what you want to do. Vastine understanding that the runner at first doesn't really do anything to hurt you, but if you're able to get that runner at third and get Bennett Thompson, that's huge, because normally the main throw just get to first to get the safe out, but he goes to third to get that lead runner. But nonetheless, Hyannis strikes first. That's huge for momentum.
Yeah, and that takes a runner out of scoring position with 2 outs for Taylor, who swings and misses at the first pitch. So instead of a runner at third, if Vastine would have thrown to first to get Snow, it's instead a runner at first and 2 outs. And a much less of an RBI opportunity for the Clemson product, Will Taylor. He takes low for ball 1.
Give props to Eric Snow here. Once again, doing a great job, making a productive out. That's what you want in those situations with a runner on third. Find a way to get him across. It doesn't always have to be pretty. It doesn't always need to be a base hit. But he does a way, just grounding it and getting the ball in play is huge to have that opportunity for the Harbor Hawks to be able to get on the board first and feel like the pendulum can swing a little bit toward the Hawks' way.
You can put up a cricket number early in the game. You can really feel good about yourself, especially with the bullpen Hyannis has late in games. And the pitcher like Zach Volker, who's been throwing well for the first 2 innings, and a swing and a miss. He went right after the back foot of Taylor with a slider, and it's 2-2. Snow's the runner at first. for Taylor, the right-handed hitter. 2-2. Pop foul behind home plate. And here you see that resilience of Taylor at home plate. Able to work counts. Has a ton of speed on the base paths. So if you're able to, again, find a way to get on base, that's so valuable for a guy that can steal a base. Smith sets and delivers. Down and away.
And if you're Taylor here, you're able to bring back a little bit of a rivalry to fall ball. Both guys playing for the Hooked Sea of Clemson University and the Tigers. So never mind just the regular season head-to-head, but now to bring postseason head-to-head to bring into this, that's huge to give him a little bit. Give a little talk his ear off in that fall ball.
3-2 is popped foul, and we've seen a lot of teammates come in and have offensive success against their pitching counterparts and pitching teammates normally in the spring. And we'll see how Taylor can fare here against Smith. That pitch is called strike 3, inner third of the plate. Nicely located pitch from Smith. He gets his teammate down on strikes, but Hyannis is on the board first. This is game 1 of the West Division Final, presented by Torino.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about. Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it. Did it better. And she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Hyannis on the board. It's 1-0, but first let's take a look at how we've gotten here in the Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs.
Yeah, this is the bracket. 4 teams only remain right now in this one. The 1 and 2 seeds in YD and Orleans respectively making it to the East Division Finals, and then Bourne knocking off Katuitt, the 4th seed making it here. Hyannis taking care of business versus Falmouth, but setting up for what should be a fabulous Cape Cod Baseball League championship game for whatever 2 teams make it out of this bracket.
Yeah, it's going to be certainly interesting. YD with a big win yesterday in Game 3 against Brewster, a thrilling one where they didn't take the lead until very late in that one, picking up the 4-3 win to survive and advance and play against Orleans. That game in progress right now. So leading off the inning is Sam Peterson. Bourne now trailing 1-0, looking to get back into the scoring column as the first pitch drops in for a strike, a curveball from Volker.
For Volker, just keep doing what you're doing, good sir, because it has been really good.
It's a line drive to the left side, gloved by Gazdar on a hop throw across the infield. Oh, John Gazdar showing off the leather. 1 away.
Deep in the hole, John Gazdar shows it off. Going off to that backhand, doing a great job to be able to get over there in time. And also a great pick by Ike, staying close to the bag.
So here's Pichu Freda with 1 away, 98 miles an hour off the bat. First pitch misses upstairs. Peterson just robbed there. You have to go back to the dugout thinking, what more can I do? I put a good swing on it, hit it hard, but Gazdar just too good. There's a deep fly ball to right field. Back goes Earhart, and he's going to watch it fly over the wall. Home run. And this game is tied.
Big home run from Pete Giuffreda, tying this thing right back up at 1. It's an even game. Giuffreda wheeling around the bases, understanding how big that is in response and leaving it up. Take a look at the pitch. Getting great bat on ball contact. It's a middle pitch at 92 miles an hour. Volker leaves over the plate, and Pete Giuffreda, the center fielder, lets that thing hit off the Eye Health Services board out in right field to tie this one back at 1.
341 feet on the home run. Just a fastball center cut, like you said. Went a 341 feet projected distance per TrackMan. That fired up the Bourne dugout. Now 1-0 to the top of the lineup in Vastine. He takes up and in again, so Volker falls behind early.
And once again, if you're Volker, don't fret. You had 1 run banked. Back at a 0-0 ball game, essentially, just with a tie at the ones.
2-0 drops in for a strike. Good pitch. Just getting him over. And Bourne, you see them in that walk-off completely energized. There's a pop-up to the left side. Smith is giving chase. He's deep into foul territory. He reaches back and he overran it. So it falls harmlessly to the ground in an adventurous strike 2 for Vastine.
Yeah, Smith had a good read on it. Ball just kept laying up in the air the entire time, and by the time Lipsy realized he could be able to get in there, that Smith was already in the vicinity and made it a crowded conference.
Yeah, Lipsy was shaded a little bit away from that line, making his run a lot longer. As a line drive to center field, a base hit for Jonathan Vastine. And suddenly, Bourne has the hits coming in droves right now.
A home run and now a single, getting the Braves on. But now this opens up a double play possibility for the Harbor Hawks to try and turn against JKG out of Rutgers.
5 for 10 in the postseason so far. First pitch is taken for a strike. He hit the game-winning walk-off sac fly on Saturday as Vastine gets his lead from first. Fouled back. What a moment that was for Bourne against Katuitt. Going up against the best team in the league in the regular season and really just beating them in all aspects. Able to come back from a 4-0 deficit on Saturday as high fastball, good 0-2 pitch from Volker misses.
Good team in the playoffs are resilient.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the score is in at any given moment. They're teams that you feel like can come back at a moment's notice. And for right now, it feels like Hyannis and Bourne are those two teams.
Swinging a high fly ball to left. Lipsy giving chase at the track. It is gone. A pair of home runs for Bourne has put them up 3-1 in the third.
It's a great breaking ball in at 77 low in the zone. And Kuroda Grauer takes it to arguably one of the deepest part of the parks, sending it 375 off the bat and getting a hold of it. And now 2 home runs here in the top of the third. Already 3 across here for the Braves. They lead 3-1, and you can see just a moonshot right off the bat.
Yeah, a pair of home runs. Bourne has really brought the punch today. First pitch is a fastball that misses outside. And now it's the heart of the order for the Braves. 1-0 from Volker. Drops in for a strike. Nice curveball.
If you're Volker, just got to be cognizant here, especially going against Eblin. Like you touched on, Mickey, this is the heart of the lineup. Doesn't get any easier.
1-1 line drive down the right field line, and it will fall in front of Earhart, who cuts it off before it goes to the wall. That holds Eblin to a single, and Bourne with another runner on. As let's take a look at what's going on outside of this. Orleans trailed in this game and now has come roaring back to score 8 runs. They lead in the bottom of the 8th.
Orleans got a 4-run cushion, making it a slam game to be able to come back in that one in the bottom of the 8th. Firebirds, talked about one of the hottest teams going into the playoffs, holding to their name, getting their series done in 2. But now if you're Volker, pitch missing high and away at 91 miles an hour, gotta be concerned. That's what Thompson's out there. He's a true great leader. He is. He knows how to talk to his pitchers, and that's why it's a little bit of a lengthy conversation between the two of them about what pitches they're feeling, the sequencing, and with that day off that allowed the scouting team of the Harbor Hawks baseball operations team to get an advanced scout, a very deep scout on this Bourne team as well.
Yeah, Bria mentioned it in one of her hits in Game 1 against Falmouth, the armbands that the catchers are now wearing. As Volker, 1-0, popped foul. On the right side, Ike runs out of room in front of the Bourne dugout, but they're wearing those armbands that explains how to attack certain hitters. Typically you don't see that on Cape, but the baseball ops department here in Hyannis is just so big that, yeah, they got enough guys to do stuff like that and really produce thorough scouting reports. Bender fouls it off.
And you also have a coaching staff that's open to listening and engaging in the statistics, because they had a meeting yesterday with the baseball operations team as both sides reported on their findings, as coaching staff using a little bit more of the film, the eye test, in how they want to advance their season. And while on the other side you have the baseball operations team a little more analytical, looking at spreadsheets, looking at Excel, and trying to break down the numbers so the two meet in that meeting are able to take their best stuff and push it forward toward this game.
Yeah, and you have a mix of perspectives. You have the ultra analytics. You have more of the eye test guys. 1-2 misses upstairs. Good fastball. But you have those both ends of the spectrum represented in that dugout. Because baseball can be such a psychological sport. You need experience to tell how a guy is doing, but at the same time, analytics can go a long way, as the 2-2 misses down and away. So Bender now has a full count. He was one of the more dangerous hitters in this league in the regular season. Again, just missed the batting title by 1 point. 3-2, ground ball to short. Gazdar picks it up, goes the short way to second. He got him on to first in time. Eblin was stealing on the play, but it was hit hard enough to Gazdar to turn the double play. To the bottom of the 3rd we go. Hyannis will pick up the bats, but first, let's go to Bria Losick.
Thanks, guys. This game just means more. Even though a lot of the players last year weren't here, this is the rematch of last year's West Division Finals, and the coaching staff remembers it all too well. They remember walking off the field. Coach Beatty was crying in his post-game interview last year when Bourne eliminated Hyannis, and they're hoping to not have that be repeated. I talked to Dan Johnson, the president of the Harbor Hawks, today, and he said he's been jittery all day. He hasn't stopped shaking. He said it just feels like deja vu, but for some reason, I think the tides are going to turn this year. I also talked to BJ Johnson, one of the coaches for the Harbor Hawks, and he said, you know, even though it's the same two teams, like I said, not too many players back. It does feel a little bit the same, except he said this Harbor Hawks team is hotter coming into the postseason, and that's why he thinks that they can make a later run this time and make it to the championship series. He said that, you know, last season, a lot of the key guys weren't exactly hitting the best coming into the postseason, that they got hot at the wrong time. But he pointed to guys like John Gazdar and Zach Earhart that have really come along at the end of the season, and he said that those two are going to be the difference makers.
Thank you so much, Bria. And yeah, getting hot at the wrong time is kind of something that everybody was afraid of in the organization, but then they come out on clicking on all cylinders against Falmouth.
Yeah, John Gazdar, I feel, is the perfect example of getting guys hitting at the right time. To finish out the year, Gazdar was fabulous. Then you push him into the postseason, and he continues to do the same thing, which is huge. So to have that opportunity is massive.
Yeah, Gazdar on the postseason so far, 6 for 11. That does not include the ground out he has today. He's only hitting 500, Jacob. You know, that's pretty good still. First pitch to Hainline is tapped foul. It's 0-1.
You think? You think 500 is pretty good?
Yeah,
50% of the time you're getting on?
He'll take it. I mean, is this slow pitch softball, men's league? Hainline takes outer third for a strike.
I don't even know if my average would be that good in a slow pitch men's league. So no matter what, 500 is impressive. And it goes to show you, ball's like a beach ball right now, and it's at the right moment.
0-2 fouled back to the screen.
Look at Hainline. If you look at his postseason numbers, 1 for 1. Came in at a pinch hit and was able to do his job. So batting a clean 100% in batting.
You think Gazdar's hitting well? How about 1,000?
That's why the sample size is always what matters.
Already a couple of pitches fouled off by the Hyannis second baseman. They're trailing 3-1, but time and time again we've seen the Hawks come back this year. 0-2 spins out of his hand just a little bit, and Tristan Smith has been impressive today, doing what he normally does best in having command over his fastball, able to put it within the centimeter wherever he wants. Hainline, a slow dribbler up the third base line, but it goes foul.
And I'm interested to see how, once you turn this lineup card over for these Harbor Hawks, how do they adapt to Smith here in their second at-bat against the Tiger?
1-2 is a swing and a miss. And he continues to look real good today. The big, tall lefty.
90-mile-an-hour changeup low in the zone. Smith was able to go down and pull the string on Hainline to have him come around and swing and miss.
So here's Zach Earhart out of Oklahoma State. Per usual, that corner is brought in against him, but he's going to pop up the first pitch on the infield. Who's got it? It's Eblin walking in to retire the second out of the inning. Earhart just got under a 90-mile-an-hour fastball up and away. So
Gazdar attacking early there. He saw something that he liked in that fastball in the outer part of the plate, just too far out, had to really go out and reach for it. Ultimately, just pops it a mile into the sky.
We talked about John. Well, here's John. First pitch is taken for a strike. More of a contact hitter. You're not going to see him launch balls over the fence, but he's got that gap-to-gap power where he's able to leg out doubles and even triples occasionally. The 1-1 from Smith on the way, missed down and in.
And what I love about John Gazdar is his development. And through talking to him over the last week of the season, kept pressing him. What's changed? What changed? And he kept pushing me off, saying nothing.
Another pop-up to the right side of the infield this time. Kuroda Grauer under it, calls everybody off, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tristan Smith, who continues to impress here on the playoffs in Game 1, presented by Torino.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Torino Restaurant and Bar is a proud sponsor of tonight's game between your Hyannis Harborhawks and the Bourne Braves. Torino is located at 415 Main Street in Hyannis. It's a perfect spot for lunch, dinner, or drinks, and a night out in downtown Hyannis.
Always a great time in downtown Hyannis. This ballpark, of course, just a couple of blocks. That's one of the great parts. You can go enjoy a meal at Torino. You can see all the sights and sounds that Hyannis Harbor has to offer as well. A lot of different options. As Zach Volker back out for another inning of work. Or, of course, you could come to McKeon Park and see a great baseball game.
Be a precursor, maybe go get some early dinner, come down to the ballpark. All stone throws away, and maybe we'll get a couple steps in as there as well.
Volker out for his 4th inning of work, facing Kendall Diggs ahead in the count 0-1. And a swing and a miss. High fastball elevated it, and it's 0-2.
And for Volker here, just got to work by frames. Forget about allowing 2 home runs in that 3rd inning. Focus on this half inning. Make this your half inning and give your guys with the bats an opportunity to go compete and cut into this lead. Once again, it's only a 2-run lead still here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, and seeing some of the deficits Hyannis has come back from this year, that's nothing. You've got the Katuitt 9th inning comeback as well. So Bourne just has to be cognizant of their review mirror as a high fastball misses. Hyannis always lurking.
And I like to think in postseason baseball, especially when both teams have a lot to lose, no one is safe no matter what the run score says, because if one guy gets hot, it could have ample effects.
1-2 is a deep fly ball to right field, hooking foul. A loud foul ball that would have been gone if it was fair. But the count remains at 1-2.
It's a long strike for Diggs, though. Volker's got a 1-2, able to go attack here.
Diggs takes strike 3, a fastball inner 3rd. So perhaps a bit of a disappointing at-bat for Diggs, but Volker gets another strikeout.
Great response. Challenges the off-speed pitch with a fastball to come inside against Diggs, and Diggs knotted up, not even moving in the box.
First strikeout for Volker since the first hitter of the game. As here's a fly ball to the left side from Michelle, but that will find the seats behind the Hyannis dugout. Second of the game for Volker sets Diggs down. Only one away in the top of the 4th. 3-1 Bourne. So happy to have you with us inside the Tim Elstrom broadcast booth. 0-1 is a fly ball to left. Lipsy giving chase at the track, at the wall, gone. The third home run of the game for Bourne off the bat of Garrett Michelle puts them up 4-1.
It's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, almost middle, a little high up in it. You'll take another look at it again here. Goes up, grab it, 93 miles an hour. It's a fastball. And with this Bourne team that's hitting the way they are in this postseason, those are pitches you just can't leave. Travels 361, another one to deep part of the park. And Michelle in the designated hitter's role already contributed, now a 3-run lead for the Braves.
That's impressive power from Michelle, who went the other way. And now a ground ball to second. Hainline up with it. Will get out number 2. Going the other way to left field is very difficult here at McKeon Park.
It's not a cheap shot by any means. Park, 358 down the left field line, 324 down the right field line, catering a little more towards the lefties, and 379 to dead center. So it is a tough one off over to that left side.
First pitch to Contreras is in for a strike. Bourne, that long ball has really favored them today. They were last in the league in home runs in the regular season with only 15. And tonight, already a trio of them. Oh, 2 on the way, missed up and away.
And you look at Volker he's doing everything that he needs to do. Just, those are 3 pitches that are being left directly over the plate.
Yeah.
That for a Bourne team that's hitting as strong as they are, those aren't mistakes that you're able to take back or have them whiff on, because they're going to make you pay, and those 3 pitches have made you pay.
When you talk about the 10 home runs during the regular season, Peterson swings and misses at strike 3. Finish that thought on the other side. Volker gets out of the inning, but not before allowing a home run. Third strikeout of the day for him. Hyannis picks up the bats, looking to cut into this 3-run deficit.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. 4-1 Bourne on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. When you need to be seen quickly from minor illnesses or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care offers a convenient and cost-effective treatment option with 6 locations across Cape Cod, from Falmouth to Orleans. Open daily with no appointment needed and staffed by board-certified ER providers. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies. Major attention.
So Cam Smith will lead off the inning for Hyannis against Tristan Smith, who now going through his second time through the order, has looked really good today. And there you see a breaking ball. First time through the order, he loves to pound the fastball. Second time, he mixes in that slider and changeup a lot more. It's fouled away quickly. 0-2 on Smith.
challenging pitch by Smith there, leaving it directly over the plate against Smith, just a couple seconds behind it, fouling it away.
Pitch skips in, spiked a fastball. Smith 1 for 2 with a single this year against his other Smith, the counterpart Smith, on the mound. 1-2. Softly grounded to the left side. Nice play by Eblin. Throws across the infield in time. And Bourne has looked really good in the field today.
They finished first in the Cape Cod Baseball League in fielding percentage with 977. Finished with the fewest errors at 35. However, so far in this postseason, have made 4 errors, which is second most so far between all the teams competing.
First pitch to Ike misses down and away. Only 35 errors on the season. And you talk about the postseason, what ends up coming back to bite teams, it's a lot of times base running and poor defense. You see those little minor fundamental mistakes in the biggest moments a lot of the time, no matter what level you're at.
In the postseason, like you talked about, Mick, are where those minor slip-ups get amplified because they're on the biggest stage possible. Yep. And these games are so close between all the different teams that one minor mistake could prove to be costly.
Ike, even in the count, 2-2. With Bennett Thompson on deck. Smith out of the windup, deals. Missed low. Count is full. And you hear the buzzers, the cowbells, a whole host of noisemakers every single ball. It's a lot of fun at McKeon Park. Ike checked his swing. He did go around. Another strikeout for Tristan Smith, and there's 2 away.
Smith's 4th of the day. Let's take a look here, see if he's able to go around on it. And Steve Williams, first base umpire, saying he came across and broke the wrists.
4th strikeout of the game for Smith. And now a foul back from Bennett Thompson trying to ambush him on the first pitch. Oh, 1-1. High pop-up, foul ground, and out of play as Bender watches it find the seats. Thompson out of the University of Oregon, a guy that his team brought in because of his great glove, but also has brought a lot to the table with the bat in his hand. 0-2, ground ball to the left side, and there's the bat. A 2-out single for the Oregon Duck, and Hyannis has life in the bottom of the 4th.
And now Thompson doing 2-out hitting. That's been a little bit of the specialty of the Harbor Hawks this season, is striking while the iron's hot. For Trey Lipsy, he's exemplified that in big moments. That Falmouth comeback was able to get it going.
First pitch to Lipsy, misses inside. He's been red hot. The guy that you want up in a 2-out rally situation, and Eric Snow to follow, who's also swinging the bat really well. 1-0, missed high. As there's a big hole up the middle, especially right at the second base bag and a little bit to the right of the second base bag, as JKG stands shaded to his left, playing Lipsy to pull. And Lipsy may not have a chance to swing the bat. He's ahead 3-0.
They're doing their due diligence of moving Lipsy around here a little bit.
Lipsy shows bunt on 3-0 and takes ball 4. And that will bring up Eric Snow, who once again has been swinging a hot bat.
That Thompson Lipsy right now to Snow is a very bat-heavy 3-person in the lineup, because you can do a lot there for Snow. Then reach here. Try and just get one across in response would be huge.
First pitch to Snow is a swing and a miss. Good pitch, down and away, a changeup. Perfectly located.
Smith with, he tends to be a 3-pitch guy on the mound between fastball, changeup, slider. It's his sequencing of reverse pitching that makes him so special.
0-1 missed up and away. Jacob Irons, knowing what's coming. Count even at 1-1. Hyannis fans starting to get into it. Lipsy at first, Thompson at second. Line drive, and it will fall into left field. Wheeling around Thompson, and he will score. Throw goes offline. Lipsy takes third after nobody was covering it. And the lead is cut to 2.
We talk about dunk plays. Here's a great dunk play by Snow. It's just out of the reach of the leaping Vastine that's dropping in front of Peterson. It's a beautifully hit ball that drops in front of him. And with great speed by Thompson going the entire way. And then you got to talk about the heads-up base running from Trey Lipsy, seeing that with the hard throw going into Bender at home plate and Ebling going in by the pitcher's mound to cut off the throw. Vastine never came over to cover in this spot. Heads-up base running by the Ohio State Buckeye puts another run at third. Runners on the corners. Once again, Mick happening with 2 away.
Timely hitting has been Hyannis' MO, and specifically timely hitting with 2 outs. First pitch to Taylor is a big cut and a miss. Late on a fastball.
Something they were able to do in the regular season, batting .242 batting average with runners in scoring position in 2 outs. They took advantage of it to the best of their ability.
Taylor behind 0-1 takes a strike. Outer third of the plate with a fastball at 92 miles an hour. Tying run at first is Eric Snow. Another run at third is Trey Lipsy. They'd love to try and get Lipsy home. Pitch from Smith is fouled straight back. Good cut from Taylor at a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
And it's a pitch on that, a little bit of a hold your breath if you want to take it. Great job protecting himself in the box, keeping his at-bat alive, keeping this moment alive for the Harbor Hawks.
Maybe another fastball coming, 0-2, anything's open. Swing and a miss, high fastball. Again at 93, gets Tristan Smith out of the 4th. But Hyannis adds 1 in the bottom half. We'll head to the 5th on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle, up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust. Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Bourne leads 4-2, but first, let's take a look at how these two teams win games differently.
Let's open up those stat sheets and let's play a little Josh Analytics here on the broadcast with producer Josh crunching the numbers for us. 271 batting average, good for third for the Harbor Hawks in the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Let's flip it on the other side for the Braves. 274, that's second in the Cape Cod Baseball League in the regular season. All these are regular season numbers. ERA, only a couple differing, third and fifth between Bourne and Hyannis, and then the fielding percentage is the one we wanted to showcase tonight. This is a really fundamental team for the Bourne Braves. If you want them to commit an error, it's going to be few and far between, especially in this postseason. It's going to have to be under your own volition to be able to go out there and try and escape.
And that is what has really been the key part, as a bunt put down by Pete Shufreda to lead off the fifth is foul. That's really what separates this Bourne team, especially in the postseason, as there you see some action in the Hyannis bullpen.
Whitaker down in the line.
Shufreda takes outside. The top of the lineup is due up after Shufreda. Volker still out into his fifth inning of work. 1-1. Tapped foul.
75-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Low that Shufreda is able to tap away.
1-2 on the way. It's in the dirt. Really good pitch from Volker. Even better take from Shufreda. That late breaking sharp curveball Volker likes to throw. It has that 12-6 movement, but also a little bit of glove side movement as well, as a fastball misses upstairs, and suddenly the count's 3-2.
Great response to Volker.
Full count offering is upstairs for ball 4. So Shufreda homered in the third and now walks in the fifth. And here comes the top of the lineup for the Braves.
Have to be cognizant, if you're Zach Volker, about the top of the lineup here coming up for the Braves and how they want to try and attack these batters.
First pitch on the way, missed up and away to Jonathan Vastine, who is 4 for 9 so far in the playoffs. Each of the next 3 hitters already have hits in this game, as we're into the third time through the order. Runner goes, throw down to second from Thompson, skips in and past the glove of Gazdar, and that allows Shufreda to take third.
Just a throw that gets by the glove of Gazdar, and now on the throw, just a couple of inches away, Gazdar unable to glove it. We talk about the speed of these Braves team, that they're going to be cognizant of it, but now they're going to have a umpires meeting with third base umpire coming in to call in the crew about potentially interference, and they're calling in the entire crew.
It was ball 1 on the pitch, and now they're going to all get together as Vastine at the plate. We don't know exactly what happened, and they're going to call him out.
What a call here. Chris Scott automatically comes out and makes the call.
Nobody's moving. So Shufreda still at third. First pitch is a line drive, foul down the right field line. What we think happened there is they were talking about a check swing.
Yeah, so in that situation, Chris Scott with the lefty up automatically didn't see because his coverage pushes him over to the third base bag on the stolen base. He has to get help.
Fly ball to left field. Lipsy drifting towards foul territory, catches the ball, putting away the first out, but that allows Shufreda to come in and score. He was in foul territory, so a decision had to be made if he wanted to just let it drop, but he ends up retiring the first out, and immediately Coach Eric Beatty out of the dugout.
Yeah, by all indications, this will do Volker's night. He points down to the dugout. Whitaker will make the jog in. He has a 3-run lead to the Bourne Braves that he's going to have to try and work around.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you on the club with?
All about it. Tell Mama.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. Evan Whitaker, the pitcher for Hyannis out of Indiana, looks to try and keep this lead at 3.
Yeah, tries to keep it at bay right now. Comes in with very limited work, so his numbers jump off the screen a little more flashing red, but I want to point everyone out to those innings pitched, only 2 on Cape so far, because quickly that people will get crazy, but once again, there's a reason why Whitaker's coming in here, and it's because he has the confidence of this team. Appeared in 13 games for the Hoosiers. Gave it a big moment in the Big Ten tournament as well. So he inherited 10 runners through his innings pitched with the Hoosiers, stranded 8 out of the 10. So comes in for high leverage spots, does a good job trying to push forward here tonight.
Yeah, and had a pretty good outing against YD in the 8-0 Hyannis win back on July 26th. He pitched an inning, gave up that 1 hit, but struck out 2. So now he'll have to face the meat of this Bourne order with JKG, Eblin, and Bender coming up with 1 out in the top of the 5th. Hyannis, again, 3 runs, given their track record this year with comebacks, is not a massive deficit to overcome. Whitaker sets, and the first pitch is in for a strike. Crota Grauer homered in the 3rd and takes low for a ball. That home run went 375 feet, 98-mile-an-hour exit velocity. Just crushed. 1-1. In there, strike 2, fastball.
Crota Grauer was a later addition to last year's championship Bourne team. He knows what it means to say run it back for the Braves. You want to try and defend their title and go win it again.
Yeah, Bourne, again, you mentioned it earlier, their undershirts all say run it back. You saw it during the walk-off. Crota Grauer softly hit to the left side, gloved by Smith, and a nice play to get the number 2 hitter in the Bourne lineup, and there's 2 away.
I don't know if you're Whitaker, got 2 outs, feeling a little more confident to go up against Bryce Eblin with 2 away, clear bases. Huge if you could get through, just only allowing 1 to plate at top of the 5th.
Yeah, Whitaker mainly a fastball slider guy. Is soft fly ball into right center field, and it will fall. 76-mile-an-hour exit velocity results in yet another Bourne Braves hit.
Eblin now 3 for 3 in the box, having himself a day. Came in fabulous, coming in 3rd in the Cape Cod Baseball League with a .367 batting average, continuing it here in the postseason.
And here's Derek Bender, swing and a miss, and a fastball at 93 miles an hour. Eblin has 3 singles, but he's never advanced past first base. We'll see if Bender can get him around here. 0 for 2 on the day, but first a check over. Bender popped up into foul territory, but also grounded into a double play. 0-1 from Whitaker. Foul back.
Now if you're Whitaker, you're fouling it back. You have an opportunity to be 0-2 here. Sit down, Bender.
Pitch misses up and away. Bender, one of the more dangerous hitters in the league, an MVP frontrunner for a lot of the year. Hit for the cycle against Hyannis earlier in the season as well. 1-2, swing and a miss, he got him. He's 0 for 3 today, and Whitaker comes in and does a fantastic job. Let's take one more look at it at the 3rd out of the inning. We head to the bottom half of the 5th on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network, presented by Torino.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why'd he sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Harbor Hawks fans, did you know that the Nat Cape Cod is the official Light Up the Park sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all season long? Thanks to the NAC, the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all summer as the future stars take the field. Visit thenatcapecod.com to order online today. So back out for another inning of work is Tristan Smith, who has just been stellar today. So far on his line, he's pitched 4 innings, only 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts.
This is the opportunity for the Harbor Hawks. Try and get to Smith in these later innings. Force the Braves to start looking down into their bullpen a little bit, because that's the Harbor Hawks' strength, and that's where other teams somewhat start to falter.
And Elijah Hainline will lead off the inning, but that's where we came into this series assuming that Hyannis would have the advantage, and into this game as well. The later innings where the bullpens are in, Hyannis has probably the best bullpen on Cape. It's pretty clear, but as Hainline checked his swing, it's 1-0. And once you get into that, you really expect great things out of the Hyannis pitching staff. 1-0. Heinlein watches down.
This is disciplined at-bats. Watching for Heinlein here. I'm going to have to Madden. He's going to try and hold for a strike. Wait for Smith to try and get him over the plate.
2-0, missed up. And we've seen a couple of 4-pitch walks from Tristan Smith today. And Heinlein could get on as the leadoff hitter. That'd be big.
Flip it over. You have Earhart behind him, Gazdar right behind him, and then powerful Smith.
Called strike one. A fastball, as the zone may have expanded just a little bit, but 3-1. Heinlein's still way ahead in the count. Pitch from Smith is down and away, and it's a walk anyway. So that brings up the top of the order, and Zach Earhart. So far, Earhart and Gazdar, the 1-2 hitters, lump Cam Smith into that as well, are a combined 0 for 6 on the game. But hitters that have been so good, as here you see a little bit of action in the Bourne bullpen.
Justin Lavelle starting to get warm down in the bullpen right now.
His first a check over to first against Earhart. Third baseman Eblin playing in, as Earhart, one of the best bunters in the league, pulls back, flies it to center field. Charging in is Shufreda, and it will drop. Spin throw to first, to second, in time for Vastine. Wow, what a play.
Nothing that you can do there if you're the runner or Heinlein. It's a heads-up play by Vastine to able to charge out and see it drop in front of Chufreda. Fired up. You still have a runner on now in Earhart over at first base, but now with one out, could be a little bit of an interesting moment trying to see how long they can get Justin Lovell ready out of Palm Beach Atlantic College, trying to get warm and get ready. Here is just having a conversation on the mound.
Yeah, so it's Gazdar now with one out in the inning. Just a unfortunate turn of events, and there's the Bourne defense that we talked about that just comes to play on any given night.
They're not gonna commit errors. They're not gonna make the most out of their fielding decisions. They are heads up. You've already seen it from Vastine twice today. That one and then the early play going over to third with that first run scored, getting the lead runner instead of just going over to first base. They've been massive plays, heads up, great IQ plays from this Bourne defense for the Harbor Hawks. They just got to take this game into their own hands and try and get him down in fine grass.
The 85th pitch of the outing comes in. It's a swing and a miss from Gazdar. 0 for 2 on the day, a ground out and a infield pop out. Earhart at first, the great base stealer. 1-1. Outside, ball 2.
And through talking to Gazdar, I was asking him, what changed? What changed in your approach? And he said, I just really started to talk to York and Cam Smith, two guys that have been hitting the ball really well, taking from them, taking how they approach the plate. How do they want to adapt?
2-1 skips in. Gazdar in a 3-ball count. Those are not bad guys to take advice from, given their results.
Yeah, those are great hitters. And you look at a conversation I listened in on to Mookie Betts and Christian Yelich, both talking about their time in the World Baseball Classic and how that made them better baseball players because they were able to learn how other top baseball players from within the United States adapt and overcome and really how they want to do it.
Gazdar draws a walk, and there's 2 on with only 1 out in the 5th for Cam Smith.
This was part of the game plan that talking about, can you get Smith out of the game here? Now there's going to be a little bit more speed and a little bit more urgency you're starting to see in the Bourne Braves bullpen. Now you have Cam Smith one away, runner in scoring position, and Gazdar at first.
Lefty on righty to Smith. First pitch, down and in, called a strike one. Owen won the count. Runners at first and second. Pitch is popped up, right side. Crota Grauer giving chase, and we'll watch it just sneak over that fence down the right side. So Smith quickly behind in the count, 0-2. With Brandon Ike to follow. Smith 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out on his night so far. And here it is, down and in. Missed with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That's reach back velocity from Tristan.
Now in this spot, Cam Smith trying to take advantage of the opportunity. These Harbor Hawks to work themselves back in it.
1-2 to the dangerous Cam Smith. Fly ball down the left side and out of play.
It's 10 o'clock, baby. Let's go.
Gazdar at first, Earhart at second. 1-2, slap foul. Smith staying alive.
And for Smith here, take advantage of the opportunity. Now in this 1-2, runner on.
Big 1-2, runners go, line drive, left field, base hit. The wheel home Earhart. Around second and pulling into third is Gazdar. Smith goes into second standing, and the lead is cut to 5-3.
This is what Smith has done all season long. Timely hits, big hits, and does a great job barreling up the ball. Able to go in and grab it inside and turning on it, taking it where it was given to him, and heads up base running, especially with the speed of Earhart on the base and the awareness of Gazdar to go grab that extra base. Now 2 in scoring position, still 1 away. Now it's only 2-run lead in favor of the Braves.
So here's Brandon Ike. First pitch on the way, missed low. Good stop by Derek Bender. The tying run stands at second with Cam Smith over there. And another big run is at third with Gazdar. Cowbells in full force. Infield at double, standing a couple of steps in, about halfway, and it's taken outside again.
Smith rattled right now in this spot. Has 2 walks in this frame so far. Fielder's choice to Earhart, a double to Smith. Ike doesn't get any easier here.
2-0 to Ike, missed upstairs, ball 3.
And it's fastballs that are missing upstairs right now for Smith. Can't find him into the zone. Lovell's still getting warm. Have to imagine Lovell's trying to get as warmed up as possible to try and make this change here.
3-0 taken for strike 1.
Just get me over fastball there from Smith at 90 miles an hour on the outer part of the plate. doesn't get any easier here with Ike.
Ike doubled in the second and struck out in the fourth. 3-1, fouled off. Off speed pitch out over the plate. Just missed it. Infield now comes in, trying to prevent Gazdar from scoring from third. 1 out. Bottom of the fifth. The pitch. Line drive, right side, base hit. Coming around third is Smith. Here's the play at the plate. Not in time. The Hawks tie the game in the fifth.
It's once again big plays on big days and in big moments. That's the clutch gene right now for this Harbor Hawks team. When they're back, they don't have it. Take a look at this pitch. Ike once again, pitch inside, able to push it on the outer part of the plate and gets it down in front of Contreras, who is playing in to touch on that grass. And it's heads up call by Eric Beatty in the third base coach's box, understanding the speed that Smith possesses and that he's going to force them to make a play at the plate. And the throw is errant. Smith gets in. It's a level game in the fifth, and now it's a pitching change, putting all the momentum on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks side. And that will send us here to a break, as we'll tell you about Lovell on the other side. It's a new ball game, tied at 5.
Diet Coke? Were you my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about. Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Brandon Ike with a 2 RBI single here in the fifth has brought us level at 5. And now the new pitcher for the Bourne Braves is Justin Lovell out of Lake Worth, Florida, and Palm Beach Atlantic College so far in the regular season has a 4.50 ERA in 8 innings pitched, 2-0 record as well. He's got 8 strikeouts to only 3 walks, 6 hits given up. Guy that's coming in with a 3/4 release in towards home plate, and now will face Thompson, Lipsy, and presumably Snow with that runner at first. It's a double play opportunity here set up for him as he comes into the game, protecting the lead, but an outing by Tristan Smith which was once very, very stellar, has in 1/3 of an inning turned towards the worst. A 4 1/3 outing, went 5 runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts on his line. So standing in is Bennett Thompson, the Oregon Duck, who today has reached in both of his plate appearances, a single and a walk. And we welcome in Josh Schreiber, one of our producers. First pitch to Thompson is taken in for a strike.
Yeah,
so 0-1.
Sorry, Mickey. Shout out Jacob Irons, who will be back, no worries, but just working on our center field camera right now, and that's why you don't see that angle right now, but we're working to get it back.
Runner at first is Ike. 0-1 is popped up. Right side, Bender watches it fly foul towards the field. Out behind the Bourne Braves bleachers right next to their dugout.
And really, it was a great outing by Smith for Bourne. just kind of got touched up at the very end. And when you're a guy that relies so heavily on the fastball, it's really hard to go deep into games because once teams start to see you, they can adjust.
0-2 to Thompson. And it's down and in. It gets to the backstop. Advancing a bag is Ike on the wild pitch. It almost hit Thompson. He looks like he almost jumped over it.
Yeah, Mickey, I honestly don't know how that didn't hit Thompson. From our angle, I thought it did hit him, but I guess it just bounced in front of him and kind of went around him.
Little bunny hop over the ball that came in. Off-speed pitch, missed down and in. Pitch is tapped foul down the left field line. Still 1-2. Thompson, a guy, again, has reached base in all 3 times, but back to Tristan Smith. You saw him rely a lot more heavily on the off-speed pitch.
Yeah.
In his last couple of innings as he made it through the order for the first or second time. 1-2. Drops in for strike 3. Great pitch at 73 miles an hour. Catches Bennett Thompson looking, and now with 2 outs, it'll be up to Trey Lipsy.
Yeah, that was a beautiful curveball that time. On the outside part of the plate, Bennett Thompson knew that it was in there, just caught him looking for a different pitch. Now the hero of the Game 2 in Falmouth, Trey Lipsy up to bat.
With the game-tying single in the 8th and then the go-ahead double in the 10th. First pitch is in the dirt. Great stop by Derek Bender. Wow. The pitch that was a couple of feet in front of home plate that he just gets his chest out in front of and prevents Ike from moving up another 90 feet.
Something of note, you can't really see it on your screen right now, but the third baseman for Bourne is playing on the grass, even with 2 outs, still wary of a Lipsy bunt attempt. Maybe try to bunt for a hit. As I say that, he backs up.
1-0 coming to Lipsy. Pitch is a high fly ball to the left. Peterson ranges back. He's at the track, at the wall. Gone! Trey Lipsy, opposite field. Hyannis by 2.
My goodness. I don't know how that ball got out, Mickey. You see Trey Lipsy calling to the fan section over here at Hyannis in full support. Hyannis with 6 unanswered runs. Sorry, 5 unanswered runs.
Takes a center cut fastball and launches, sneaking it on the inside of the left field foul pole. 92 miles an hour off the bat, traveled 340 feet. Trey Lipsy, not known for his power, has put Hyannis up by 2 in the 5th with a home run.
Yeah, especially not to the opposite field.
No.
And just shows how well the ball is traveling out to left field here tonight. 2 opposite field home runs.
Eric Snow, even at 1-1.
That left field isn't that shallow, Mickey. I mean, we don't see a lot of home runs hit out to left field.
Lipsy has not homered all year with Hyannis. 2-1 to Snow now.
Yeah, I believe he had 12 home runs with Ohio State in their spring season, but has not hit a homer yet this year. Been very much a contact bat, get on base type of guy.
2-1. Line drive, right center field, and it will split the gap. Diggs will go back to the wall to dig it out. And Eric Snow with a 2-out double, keeping this inning in good times alive for the Hawks.
96 miles an hour off the bat, right where Eric Snow likes it. Bottom of the zone fastball. He went with the pitch and absolutely clobbered it into right center field.
Snow has been taking great at-bats at the plate.
You hear those "Let's Go Hawks" chants raining down with Whale Taylor up.
5 in on the inning. And here's Taylor, the 9th hitter of the inning. Missed down and in. Snow, a guy that during the regular season hadn't been swinging the bat all that well. Really great defender, but has come into the postseason and really swung the bat well. 3 for 5 coming into the game in the playoffs is a little knuckler foul down the right field line. Welcome back, Jacob Irons, into the booth.
Thank you, buddy. I always appreciate being welcome back.
Fighting some battles. That's all right.
Hey, got to fight some battles sometimes, but it's championship baseball and it's the playoffs, so that's all that matters. And what a half inning right now from these Harbor Hawks. Once again, happening with 2 outs, Mick.
1-1. Taylor fouls it back. So it's 1-2 to Taylor, but again, back to Eric Snow. 3 for 5 coming into this one. A single in the 4th that drove in a run. Now a double. He is really come on in the playoffs. One, 2 on the way. Foul back. Tristan Smith laboring in the 5th since coming in. He struck out the first batter he faced in Bennett Thompson. Lipsy then homered, and then Snow got to second on a double. 1-2, down and in. Nearly got to the backstop. So Taylor hitless so far on the game. Has a pair of strikeouts, looking to avoid the 3rd in a 2-2 count. Pitch to him. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 to Taylor, but a 5-run inning.
It's a spark by Trey Lipsy, the Ohio State Buckeye. Mr. Playoff? I think he's making a campaign for himself. Mr. Clutch in the gene. Harbor Hawks now leading 7-5 going into the 6th.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. Hyannis has taken a 7-5 lead, but first let's take a look at the other game that went on today. Orleans prevailed over the YD Red Sox 8-4. They were able to make a big comeback in that one, trailing 4-1 going into the 7th inning, then scored 2 in the 7th and 5 in the 8th to eventually get themselves the victory. So Kendall Diggs stands in here, shows bunt, bunts it foul. And back here at McKeon Park, Bourne has suddenly picked up the bats and are behind.
It's crazy just how quick things can change in baseball, and it's just a momentum. We talked about it. Harbor Hawks run an assembly line offense, or as we've called it all year, the Luke Combs offense. When it rains, it pours, and that's exactly what happened. 5 runs in that bottom of the 5th inning, and it's continuously coming time and time again. Harbor Hawks are the best assembly line there is, especially with 2 outs.
Yeah, and you emphasize with 2 outs. It's really crazy what they've been able to do with 2 outs. A line drive into right field, a base hit for Diggs, his first of the game. And Bourne has their leadoff man aboard in the 6th.
If you're Bourne, that's what you need right now, is putting your best foot forward. And it's only a 2-run ball game if you're on the other side and in the other dugout for the Braves at this moment, because it's still attainable. You got to try and get the pendulum back to your dugout, which it was through the first 4 innings of play.
You may feel like all the momentum is against you right now, but at the end of the day, it's only a 2-0 game as Cam Smith settles under a high pop-up and makes the play for the first out. But again, only a 2-run game. Bourne, a team that can score a lot of runs in a hurry, but against this bullpen for Hyannis, that task seems pretty tall.
Does, but nonetheless, there's a Bourne team that's already hit a bunch of homers today, that they have an opportunity to try and push themselves forward, and they're in this game no matter what.
Whitaker throws over to first to check in on Diggs. He's back sliding. Contradas at the plate. Takes a strike. At the knees with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Again, Whitaker mainly fastball slider on Cape. 0-1. Grounded to the left side. Smith waits on a hop, throws to second for 1. And no play at first to get the speedy Contradas, but there's 2 away in the inning, and they get the lead runner.
That's what you need. Get that lead runner. Eliminate a runner from passing by and getting into scoring position.
Good result for Whitaker. And now faces Sam Peterson, the Hawkeye. First to throw over to first. Peterson 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a ground out.
Now, if you're Peterson, take advantage of runners on if you're the Hawks.
It's 1-0. Pitch is in for a strike. 91-mile-an-hour fastball at the belt in the inner third of the plate. And that's where you want that fastball. You want to locate it inside to try and jam a hitter. Don't let them get the hands extended on it. Misses up on the 1-1. Peterson 5 for 9 in the postseason so far with 4 runs batted in. First check over to first, nearly got Contradas. Peterson had a RBI triple, a part of the 4-0 comeback as a swing and a miss on Saturday. Today is grounded out and struck out. Looking to avoid another one here. 2 outs, 2-2. Whitaker gets a fly ball to center. Ranging back is Taylor. He's at the track. He lost it and finds it and tumbles to the ground to retire out number 3. A bit of a laugher. And no harm, no foul for the Hawks. It's 7-5. They lead. Let's go to the third member of our crew, Bria Losick.
Thanks, guys. The Hawks have gotten a little bit more magic in the playoffs thanks to this cowbell right here. Nana Lipsy, who is Trey Lipsy's grandma, came up here for about a month in the season, and she said this place is too quiet. She said she was the only one cheering in McKeon Park, especially when Trey was up, and she said that the park needed a little bit more enthusiasm when the guys were up to bat. So she ordered a couple cowbells and then had to leave for the summer. So she gave them to me. She told me, find some people that will cheer for the guys and get this park a little bit louder. So I handed them off to some of our writing interns and our baseball ops interns, and ever since then, there's been a whole lot more magic, both here and away. Trey Lipsy was actually responsible for tying the game at Falmouth in Game 2 and coming ahead. And of course, he hits a moonshot to left to get the Hawks ahead here. So Grandma knows best always. She knows that her grandson needs the energy, and they're definitely bringing it here at McKeon Park. Right behind me, that's their section. You'll hear them all day in the crowd mic, and it's about to get a little bit more loud in here. We've still got plenty of baseball left. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Bria. And not only has McKeon Park sounded very lively in favor of the Harbor Hawks, but so is Gov Fuller Field at Falmouth the other day.
Yeah, it is a traveling contingent. This place, while I was trying to put out fires, it's packed. This place is full to the brim. There's kids playing wiffle ball out in the fields behind us. There's not a spot to be found on the grandstand. If you can put a lawn chair down, they have found a spot to put it. This has been a fabulous day and a great atmosphere, all with the hopes of seeing a great baseball game. And so far, their hopes have been realized here. But once again, like Bria touched upon, we've got a lot of baseball still to be played here in Hyannis.
The 9-hole hitter, Elijah Hainline, leads it off. It'll be Hainline, then the top of the order. Leadoff hitter Zach Earhart, and then John Gazdar due up in the 6th. First pitch on the way. A knuckler down the right side, but nobody's going to have a shot at it as it gets into the Bourne dugout. Bourne bullpen, excuse me. Hyannis brought 9 hitters to the plate in the 5th. Justin Lavelle back out for another inning. Pitch missed, or in there for a strike, 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
It's a great situation if you're in this spot for Lovell, just trying to be ahead in counts and get your team back into the batter's box.
0-2. Hainline takes up and away. Elijah so far on the day walked in the 5th and struck out in the 3rd. One, two. Drops in for a strike 3 call. Good pitch from Louisville.
Great pitch indeed from Louisville. Just finding that outer part of the plate against the righty Hainline that's able to knot him up and watch it go past him. But now, once again, you turn this lineup back over to Earhart, Gazdar, and Smith. All 3 guys got on in that big 5th inning.
First pitch to Earhart, drops in for a strike. That curveball that he uses is a secondary pitch.
And that big 5th inning proves really good statistically for this Harbor Hawks team. Because for either side, if you are up and leading the contest after 5 innings of play, Hyannis is 15-2. On the other side, Bourne is 15-5, and when Bourne is trailing, they are 4-13 after 5 innings of play. That coming in and being able to lead after 5 innings of play is huge. And if you start leading after 6, and as the later you get into games, statistics just favor whoever is leading for more consistent time and time again. And it sounds a little bit of common sense statistics, but that 5th inning was huge because of the records and the numbers it shows right now for these Harbor Hawks. Whether it was the momentum or whether it's statistics alone, either way, Harbor Hawks are feeling themselves at the right time.
It's essentially if you're leading at halftime in football or in basketball, your odds of winning are going to go up exponentially. Again, it sounds very trivial, but at the same time, is a proven statistic that has a lot more impact that you might prior think.
And the numbers back it up, and that's why once again, it's a no-duh statistic, but at the end of the day, when you have those numbers backing you up, it adds a little more reaffirmation to it.
2-2, Earhart taps it foul. There's no such thing as a no-duh statistic.
I don't know. There's sometimes where I've said some, and our production crew back here is giving me, really, we need a number on that, but here.
Cam Smith hits the baseball hard.
Yeah, it's one of those numbers, but for right now, Earhart continuing to work a steady and consistent at-bat.
2-2, pop foul. The 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Earhart, his plate discipline has been really impressive this season, especially in the second half. About to see a 2-2. Fouled off again. Wow. Earhart really battling here. 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming.
This is what you want out of your leadoff hitter if you're the Harbor Hawks. Guy that works counts and finds a way to get on. And trying to do so here.
2-2. Missed upstairs, and the count goes full. Earhart's brother was, of course, here as a coach earlier in the year. Drew. The pitch on the way. High fly ball to center field. Giving chases Shufreda. He pulls up just shy of the wall, and they lost it. They lost the ball in left center field. That sky is the exact color of a baseball right now, and they just couldn't find it.
We always talk about it. This is the at-bat that goes soaring right up over the lights. I lost it up here in the broadcast booth, and you had Shufreda thinking he saw it, but it just started to die on him at the last second, then had to come scorching in. And talk about pitches are so hard once they get above the lights here at McKeon, especially with the setting sky. But now with John Gazdar back up, it doesn't get any easier for Lovell.
First pitch, John, a little knuckler to the right side. Immediately waving his hands and wheeling in Earhart. The throw to the plate, head first slide, not in time. Hyannis up 8-5.
It is a great piece of hitting. It is contact, bat on ball contact from John Gazdar, able to sneak it through the hole of Kuroda, Grauer, and Contreras on the other side, and it's a beautiful punch through. It's control and back control. And what a call by Eric Beatty to send in the speedy Earhart. Earhart going and sliding head first and making the decision, be aggressive in this spot. You have the 2-run lead. Might as well try and take a couple extra steps forward.
And now Cam Smith. No swing on the check swing. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. These bats really finding themselves in the last 3 innings. 1-0. Smith takes a breaking ball that drops in. 73-mile-an-hour curveball.
That was a stop sign by Smith the entire time, waiting for that first strike of the at-bat to come. It's get me over curveball at 73.
It's the Jeter approach. 1-1. Slowly hit left side. Nice scoop by Vastine, who throws Smith out. That's a really nice play to charge in and field it on a short hop. So with 2 outs, Brandon Ike comes to the plate, with Gazdar now advancing to second.
Now you have a runner on second base. Opening up for, again, look back to Brandon Ike's single. That was really the momentum boost and the change of gears for the Harbor Hawks back in that 5th inning.
First pitch skips in. Another good block by Bender. Ike had that single in the 5th. Also led off the 2nd with a double. Later came around to score. The count 1-0. Three-run Hyannis lead. Looking to add one more. Gazdar gets his lead from second. The pitch down for a ball. Just, again, flipping the script. We've seen it time and time again this year. The Cardiac Hawks, as we've been calling them, are back out again. Here on August the 7th. 2-0. Up for ball 3.
It has been their MO so far this year has been cardiac. Consulting your cardiologist, trying to find ways that sneak themselves back into games when you didn't think it would be.
3-0 to Ike. In for a strike. Get me over fastball. Here's the pitch. Missed upstairs. Ike takes first. And Hyannis, again, bit of two-out production. So Bennett Thompson comes up. Single in the 4th, a strikeout in the 5th. And runners at first and second now. Here's the pitch to Thompson. Missed down and in.
And now with Thompson here, have a opportunity.
1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Missed down. 2-0. Once again, it speaks to the great coaching staff Hyannis has brought in the last 2 years, having won 9 games in 2021 and then turning it around last year, making the playoffs, making a great push towards what could have been a division championship. But Bourne ended up ruining it as called strike 1 on the outer third. And turning it around once again, the turnaround continues this year. 2-1, grounded foul up the left field line. Hyannis getting that 2 seed in the West. And now playing for the Western Division title.
And now with that 2 seed, because of their record, they're able to control a little bit more of their own destiny, getting home field advantage for a large part of the remaining part of the playoffs, which would be huge.
Something that they didn't have last year against the 1-seeded Braves. 2-2 coming to Thompson, and it is just upstairs.
At last postseason, they were a little bit of road warriors, especially in that Katuitt series as well. So having the opportunity to be home, be in front of your home fans, it's huge.
Full count. All runners will get a head start. Here's the pitch. Grounded to left side. Nice backhand play by Eblin. Throw across the infield in time. Bryce Eblin shows off his cannon from the third base position and keeps the lead at 3. We head to the 7th. Harbor Hawks up 3 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, determine who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. And Lovaz will enter the game for the Harbor Hawks, looking to prevent a 3-run deficit.
Yeah, Carter Lovaz out of William & Mary has had a lot of outing out of the bullpen. 16 2/3 innings pitched, has 14 strikeouts to 5 walks. That's a really solid K to walk ratio, and he's been solid and is a guy that you talk about, especially out of the bullpen, and through talking to Eric Alexis, a great guy to talk to pregame, the pitching coach for this Harbor Hawks team. Always enjoy talking to him about consistency. That's what he loves out of his pitchers, especially in high leverage spots and especially in playoffs, where no matter what the situation is, whether you're winning by 10 or losing by 10, it's high leverage because this is win or go home baseball a lot of the time. So having Carter Lovaz, a guy that you breeds consistency out of that bullpen and settles it onto the rubber, is huge, especially for the confidence of the dugout. And we touched upon it in the pregame show. It is as big of a moment as game one is right now. That's what these two coaches are playing for, because you set up the momentum for the rest of the series if you get game one, because there's a very change of tides if you're able to play a little bit different baseball when you go to Durham Park tomorrow, no matter whoever wins this contest.
Yeah, and you got to throw your best relievers in situations like these, because you mentioned win or go home. If you lose game one, you're playing from behind for the entire series. You really are looking over your shoulder the rest of the time, and that's why Lovaz is in this game right now. His first task will be Pete Shufreda. He homered in the 3rd, walked in the 5th. First pitch on the way up and away.
For Lovaz, just settling in here is going to be huge.
Sometimes it takes some guys a little bit of time to find the arm slot. There's a good pitch. Inner third of the plate. A fastball with a ton of run. Doesn't have the most velocity on it. Popped foul, but man, does have a lot of movement on it. Really tough pitch to hit.
And that's what makes Lovaz so special, is that he has the opportunity to be able to work all these pitches. And necessarily, you don't always need all of that speed. If you're able to locate, able to have great movement on pitches, that's big, especially late in games, to be able to have that versatility.
Pitch coming in just inside. 81-mile-an-hour slider. Put it in a great spot. But called a ball. A lot of frustration with balls and strikes tonight from both dugouts. 3-2, and it hit him. Or did it hit the bat? It's a foul ball off the nub of the bat, excuse me. And it's still 3-2. Lovaz gets his sign and deals up and away for ball 4. So Shufreda takes first, and that sets up the top of the order, leading off with Vastine.
But that's why you make this spot is you go get Lovaz here so that you're able and prepared to go take on the top of this lineup.
Vastine so far on the day, a single, a sacrifice fly, and a strikeout. First pitch, in for a strike. The Hawks have not only been comeback kings, but they've been able to close games with this great bullpen. They're good at protecting leads. Check over to first, but goes to show this leadership, the manager Eric Beatty, pitching coach Eric Luxus, they're good at pushing the right buttons at the right time.
They have a detailed calendar.
Runner goes. Throw down to second from Thompson is in time. It wasn't quite in time, but Shufreda slid off the bag. And there's 2 away.
What a great throw to Gazdar, and this is why they teach you, keep that tag applied all the way through, because you have the opportunity that if they're going to slide over, just keep the tag on, because if they come any off contact with that base, that it's going to be an out.
So 2-1 now to Vastine, and that is a huge play at this point of the game, getting rid of a Bourne base runner. Pitch is in for a strike. Late call, but it caught the inner third. So 2-2 outside for a ball. Lovaz mainly mixes in fastball, changeup, slider. And fastball is his #1 pitch, but changeup and slider are great secondary pitches that he can use. 3-2 is a swing and a miss. He got him with a fastball away. And there's 2 outs in the 7th. That is a perfect location. 88 miles an hour, outer third of the plate. Vastine caught chasing. There's 2 away.
Come on, Carter, right here, baby.
Lovaz, one of Hyannis' highest leverage relievers this year, coming in a lot of big spots. A guy that they really trust to come out of the bullpen. There's a couple of decisions on the year. 0-1, foul back again. Last appeared in that June 30th affair with Orleans. Went 2 innings, gave up 1 hit. 1 run, but it was not earned. 0-2, missed upstairs. He went to the high fastball. Teammates with Ben Williamson, a guy that we saw come through the Hyannis system earlier in the year. Recently got drafted, 2nd round. Williamson played a multitude of defensive positions, including center field, left field, shortstop, third base.
I'll be very interested to see where Williamson goes in his MLB career.
A guy that just played unbelievable defense, as Kuroda Grauer still even at 2-2. Made a couple of diving catches out in left field for the Hawks the first couple of games of the season. 2-2 is a slow tapper to the left side. Gazdar jumps on a high hop and just kind of has no shot at it. Throw was not in time. And with 2 away, Bourne has a base runner.
That's what makes Kuroda Grauer so deadly, is his ability to get down the line so quickly. And it's a great look right there by our production crew here in Hyannis with Steve Williams, the first base umpire, doing a good job of watching Kuroda Grauer with his speed. But now he's a stolen base threat as well. Understanding with 2 outs, Braves later in this game going to have to be aggressive.
Throw over to first, not in time. Bourne just looking to try to string together some base runners. Foul back. If you can get base runners, even if it's with 2 outs, which Hyannis would much prefer to allow base runners with 2 outs, because then you're just 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
And especially when you're in this top part of the Bourne lineup where you get a guy on and you can make them be nothing hits, make them be nothing and just left on base. That's huge because you move down the lineup and able to try and go 1, 2, 3 in the next frame.
0-1, just outside. Continuing to add runs on to their 3-run lead is also a key. One outside.
Now with Lovaz here, just find the zone here. You have 2 outs banked. Don't need to be all that worrisome about it.
2-1 is a high fly ball to center. Charging in is Taylor, and he makes the play for the 3rd out. So we will stretch at McKeon Park. We head to the 7th inning stretch. This is Harbor Hawks baseball presented by Torino.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, where Hyannis has an 8-5 lead right now. And they will look to try and add on.
The wait is almost over, though, Mickey. Floor & Decor is coming to Hyannis on September 28th. Get ready for unbelievable everyday low prices on tile, wood, stone, laminate, and vinyl, and installation materials, and more. Our high-quality selection can't be beat, so mark your calendars for September 28th for Floor & Decor's grand opening in Hyannis. At Floor & Decor, you'll discover thousands of in-stock products, all at a price you'll love. We promise you've never experienced anything like it, but soon you can. Come explore Floor & Decor opening in Hyannis on September 28th. Stretch time, that means chicken dance here at McKeon Park. Always a fun time, and for the Harbor Hawks trying to add on to their lead, Nick.
Yeah, just one of the more fun traditions on Cape, the chicken dance at Hyannis, on par with Fenway Park on Cape. So we have Hyannis coming to the plate, and it will be Lipsy, Snow, and Taylor due up in the inning. first we'll have a conversation out at the mound.
For a new pitcher, Jason Manriquez from Wellington, Florida, and the University of South Florida. Manriquez has appeared against the Harbor Hawks this year. That's his one sole appearance up here on Cape. Went 1 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 1 run. It was earned on 2 hits, struck out 2, faced 7 batters.
First pitch is fouled off to the left side. That was the final game of the regular season, correct?
Yes, final game of the regular season at Doran Park.
What a weird night that was.
It's eerily quiet over at Doran Park on that game, but we can sure tell you it's not quiet here tonight.
All the playoff spots had been wrapped up, and it just felt like the opposite of what tonight is at McKeon Park. 0-1 to Lipsy is fouled again.
For Lipsy, if anyone follows the Cape Cod Baseball League social channels, they had a fabulous teaser, or really a hype video to get ready for the postseason, and they said where postseason legends are made in the CCBL playoffs, and for right now, Lipsy's writing his own story to be added into one of those top guys with the postseason he's had. And to talking to him at batting practice earlier today, it's just always a smile on his face, a guy that loves baseball. And he has every right to be a little tired. He was here day one, 3 days before the season even started. He's a day one guy that finished all 44 games with this Harbor Hawks team and now is playing for more in the postseason, and yet still loving every moment of being up here on Cape Cod. If that doesn't show you why he loves baseball and how he'll be able to excel at the next level, I really don't know what will, because Trey Lipsy is that guy. When the lights are shining the brightest, he's been able to show out.
Yeah, and a guy that takes this really seriously. He comes out and has played most of the days as he checked his swing, says third base umpire Chris Scott. He's played most games out here in the outfield, DHing, playing in a multitude of different roles, different spots in the lineup, different positions defensively, some corner outfield, some center field. 2-2 is called strike 3. Lipsy goes down on strikes, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Great pitch. Manriquez is able to work a 93-mile-an-hour fastball inside on the lefty Lipsy that he's knotted up and watches go by.
Eric Snow now with 1 out. Watches that down and away. Snow so far on the day, a single, a double, and now another single. So with 1 out, Hyannis has another base runner on, and it'll be Will Taylor.
Talk about Trey Lipsy making a case for himself in the postseason. Eric Snow right now is doing it as well.
And it will actually be a pinch hitter in the form of Nick Mitchell.
Here we go,
the
Nick.
left-handed hitter taking the place of the righty Will Taylor. Playing some matchups here.
Mitchell, a typical outfielder for this Harbor Hawks team. Wasn't necessarily in the lineup, but in playoff baseball, anybody can come off the bench and can be asked to contribute at whatever stage the game is in. And for Mitchell, it is here in this bottom of the 7th, and yesterday is no better telling of that is Trey Lipsy wasn't in the lineup yesterday and was able to get the game-tying hit and then ultimately the game-winning hit as well. So if you're coming off the bench, it doesn't matter that you weren't in the lineup. It matters what you do when you have the opportunity in front of you.
And he's taken full advantage of most of those opportunities. 0-2 is a ground ball to the right side, and it gets through. Rounding second and heading to third is Snow. There's going to be a play. The throw in time to get him. The right fielder Diggs throws a perfect dart to third, and the tag was applied by Eblin.
A fabulous throw here by Diggs. Loads up on it, sees Snow turning around second, and it's a great tag by Eblin off to the base, allowing Snow that base path in, but still getting able to toss in a pitch and a throw off to the side to be able to tag out Snow.
Just, again, the Bourne defense is so good. And here's Elijah Hainline. Runner goes. Throw down to second from Bender's knees is not in time. Bastine applied the tag. He had to field it on a short hop and reached around.
Yeah, Kuroda Grauer doing a good job to snag it and tried to spin around on it. But Mitchell doing a fabulous job coming in leg first.
Wow.
Not going in head first against some of the better judgment, but going in with those feet, being able to slide right under that tag.
And now we'll have a mound meeting, and the Hawks have, despite being 7th on the season in stolen bases, they've started to rely just a little bit more heavily on the stolen bases in the playoffs and late in the season.
And it's the adage of force them to make the throw. See what happens when you make them try and be a little more uncomfortable, because especially now with the lead, you can be a little more aggressive in these situations, especially with base runners on, because you want to see if you want to apply a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, putting pressure on the defense, making them make a play. 0-1. Bounce to third, and it gets over the head of Bastine. This will score yet another run for the Hawks. They lead 9-5.
A chopper that Bastine's done a great job all day long at that shortstop, but it just goes right over his glove. A dirty hop at the last second, was reading it the entire time. And with the speed of Mitchell, you have no opportunity to even get there because it finds the gap where Bastine is playing. It's in the gap between Peterson and Chufreda, and it just died as soon as it touched living grass. So here in this spot, you have Earhart once again trying to get a couple more across.
A throw over to first, and they're going to have Hainline picked off. He thought about going. He was definitely thinking about second, but nonetheless, Hainline comes through with the RBI single. Hawks add another. It's 9-5 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle, up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust. Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. Hyannis in the driver's seat right now, 9-5, but let's take a look at what's coming up for the Hawks. We'll go to Bourne tomorrow. Then perhaps if the Game 3 is needed, we'll be back at McKeon Park. And then the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship Series starts on Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow's game set for 6 o'clock. You can catch that one starting at a crisp 5:45 right here on the Harbor Hawks broadcast YouTube channel right here as will have the radio call, the exclusive radio call of that game too, and then ultimately it's, if necessary and happens to be the CCBL championship, after that to see who the winner of this series is and out of the West Division.
If fortunes fall Hyannis' way, which tonight, so far, they have a 9-5 lead right now, 5 runs in that big 5th inning for the Hawks, and a ground ball to the left side, but it went off of Derek Bender's foot. As Nick Mitchell stays in the game after pinch hitting for Will Taylor, he will play center field. Bender, so far on the day, has grounded into a double play. He's popped out into foul territory and struck out. One of the more dangerous hitters in the league has been neutralized by the Hawks. A little bit of a release point issue, a little bit. Went to the backstop.
Yeah, just rub it off there a little bit, maybe a little sweat with the humidity starting to build with inclement weather that's supposed to come in onto the Cape over night.
Ripped on the ground, past the dive of Smith and down the line into left field towards the bullpen. Bender around first will pull into second. So a leadoff double for Bender. Perhaps we jinxed it.
You only knew that it was going to be a little bit of time that Bender was going to make his presence known in this game, and comes in the double here, making his presence known in this contest and just trying to push himself forward, Derek Bender. And he's a steal threat. Finished the regular season leading the CCBL in stolen bases with 18. Definitely a third base steal threat here.
So here's Kendall Diggs. Takes up and away for a ball. Even if Bourne can get one here in the 8th, that brings them within 3, or maybe if they can get a couple, just cut into this lead a little bit. We've seen Hyannis do it all season long. That's the key for them, just to continue to bring runners up to the plate without creating outs. Gazdar holding Bender on at second. (2-0) in there for called strike 1, a fastball.
Perfect placement from Lovaz in on that middle inside third of the zone against Diggs. Great placement by the William & Mary prospect.
2-1 missed upstairs.
See right there on that center field camera, you're able to see Derek Bender. That's something he's done all year. That's bluff steals, trying to see if he can elicit a throw down from Thompson. But that's why all those film that both dugouts were able to watch with that day off, understanding a little bit more about these teams and their tendencies and understanding the players that are consistently in.
And the walk. So Diggs trots to first, and Lovaz issues his second walk of his outing. There's first and second with still nobody out for Garrett Michelle. And here comes Coach Eric Beatty. So there's been action in the Hyannis bullpen. He will make the signal out to it. That will end the night for Carter Lovaz.
It's Dennis Colleran coming in to make the change. We'll take a minute and step aside as well. You're watching the CCBL West Division Final. Game 1.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen. Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you in a club with?
All about it. Tell Mama.
So Dennis Colleran comes into the game out of Northeastern, inheriting runners at first and second, nobody out.
It didn't appear in spring ball for the Huskies, but in this spot, coming off of the injury, rehabbing, he has the opportunity to take advantage of this summer as getting quality innings thrown and be able to go. High leverage pitcher, and especially high speed pitcher on that fastball. Goes up to the mid 90s on it when he wants to go grab it and reach back for it. Had a limited outing. Normally is a 2-inning relief pitcher here for the Hawks in these moments, but once again, postseason, all of what happened in the regular season game get thrown out, as this will be his first appearance of the postseason for the Harbor Hawks to try and come in and get the final 3 outs here of this top of the 8th to push on and get the Harbor Hawks back into the box and hopefully push on to the top of the 9th.
Yeah, that fastball, it has so much heat to it. It's has topped out at 98 miles an hour this year. A guy that has a ton of velocity and is able to attack hitters. He will mix in a slider as well, very occasionally a changeup and a curveball, but it's mainly fastball slider.
It's a fastball dominating count, and he does a great job of sequencing those 2 pitches.
Yeah.
We talk about when you only have a limited arsenal, being able to sequence those pitches in big spots, that's huge.
Immediately showing bunt is Michelle, but he pulls back for a strike.
98 miles an hour fastball. You talked about it, Mickey. No matter where you put it in the zone, it's going to be a tough decision by Michelle to get the bat off of his shoulder in time.
0-1. It's a high pop-up. He was behind a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's going to find the seats. 0-2. So far on the day, Michelle homered in the 4th. But Hyannis, of course, able to battle back. Colleran sets and delivers. Swing and a miss. He got him. 98 miles an hour fastball. He beat him away, and there's 1 down.
We touched on it, Mickey. Colleran is a fastball-heavy guy. It's good morning, good afternoon, and good night, all with the fastball there. It's not going to a different pitch, and that's flirting at 98 consistently. The second pitch was 97, and it was, I bet you if you went down to the decimal points, it was touching 98.
Here's New Contradas, and it's always interesting to see because the radar gun obviously doesn't have a decimal point, so you wonder when TrackMan and the radar gun here at McKeon Park disagree what it actually is there's 98. It's 1-1.
Right now, Colleran is feeling it. We've seen him touch 98, but now to have 3 pitches in this outing, to have 98 come across the plate, that's big.
Swing and a miss again. 98 again.
And this isn't a reach back right now for him. This is gliding in his delivery. He's feeling it, pumped up, the crowd's in it with him, and it's just coming off ease from his hands.
Missed just away. Bender at second, Diggs at first with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch to the Bourne first baseman. Little flare down the right field line. Earhart over, but he's going to run out of time to get to it, and it's still 2-2. Slight breeze has picked up here in right by the harbor. Flag's still not moving, but seems to have shifted more inward from the outfield towards us, right behind home plate. Pitch to Contreras is swung on and missed. He beat him with a slider, and there's the sequencing you were talking about.
And when you just had 2 at-bats now of predominantly fastball, dropping it down 10 miles an hour, and with movement that he possesses, going right to left, that's why you talk about sequencing. That is a great call from Thompson behind home plate, because for these Harbor Hawks, this is all of them.
98 again, up and in. Now that might be the best pitch that he's thrown yet, because he located it inside, not allowing him to get extended on it. And there's a flare into right center field. It's down in front of Mitchell. This will score a run. The throw not in time, and it's 9-6.
Big hit by Peterson. Able to drop it in front of Mitchell in center to be able to bring around the speedy Bender from second base, but have 2 outs, still have a 3-run lead going into the bottom of the 8th here potentially for the Harbor Hawks, just trying to find that final one. And for Colleran, it's just a pitch at 98, can't ask for much more in that spot.
Here's the lefty Shufreda, who takes a strike.
97 to 98 consistently. We talked about, we'd seen him top at 97 throughout most of the regular season.
Pitch is golfed foul. A healthy dose of fastballs from Colleran, and you can't blame him. They're working. 0-2 the count. Pitch to Shufreda is up and in. Again, 98.
It's all power from Colleran, but with power comes a little bit of a loss sometimes of accuracy.
1-2, up and away.
Still at 97, dropped off a mile an hour there, but now with the 2-2. 2's hot here, Mick, in a big spot.
2-2, 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch, grounded foul. And a good battle being put up here from Shufreda, who is yet to be retired in this game at home plate. He was caught stealing in the 7th, but that's the only time they've gotten him out. A pair of walks and a home run.
1 for 1, batting a very clean day so far.
Batting 1,000. 2-2 once again. In there, strike 3 call. He beat him with a slider.
It's Dennis Colleran's world, and we're just living in it. A fabulous pitch on the middle of the plate. Hits him with the slider. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. Harbor Hawks leading 9-6.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky. Because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. Good vibes running through the ballpark right now as 9-6 our score. In the previous inning, it was Dennis Colleran coming in and throwing some heat to get Hyannis out of a jam.
Dennis Colleran answered the call out of the bullpen and exemplified what he could do. 98 miles an hour consistently on the fastball. We talk about how when you have a limited pitch arsenal, where can you go? How do you be able to work only 2 pitches? To the naked eye, it's sometimes a little questioning, but when you're batting and throwing 98 consistently and then toss in a nasty slider from time to time, that's untouchable. And for Colleran, he comes in, does his job, what he needs to do. But Harbor Hawks still want to try and increase their lead. Still feels like Bourne still breathing down their neck a little bit, even though it's a 3-run lead.
So here's Earhart, who was up at the plate when Hainline got picked off. A high fly ball into shallow left, and Bastine makes the play for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out from Enriquez, who's back out for another inning of work.
And that's what he did so well against Hyannis the last time he pitched, was being able to work efficient at-bats and get outs and just try and push himself away.
So here's Gazdar. Has a single and a walk to his line today. First pitch to him is a called strike. 90 miles an hour right down the middle. And look at the middle of the infield. They're giving him right back up the middle as a big hole. 0-1 in there for a strike.
That's an Indiana pasture out there. That is about as big of a green grass. Only a couple days away. I got to drive back out to school.
Slowly hit. Enriquez up with it. 2 away in the inning. Indiana pasture.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame broadcaster, Jacob Irons. South Bend, that's in North Indiana, correct?
Correct, yep. Just a 2-hour drive from Chicago. But now, if you're the Harbor Hawks, you got Cam Smith up in this box right now. If you can take an opportunity to try and get another one across with 2 outs, that would be demoralizing for this Brave team. And once again, be within slam range. That would be huge.
The inning is never over when you're facing Hyannis. You can't just cruise through that last out. They make you earn every single out. 9-6 the score. Smith slaps it foul. Cam to his line today has that RBI double in the 5th. A couple of groundouts and a strikeout. 1 for 4. 3 for 9 so far on the postseason coming into today. 0-2. It's a high fly ball deep to right field. Diggs ranges in and will make the play at the warning track for the 3rd out of the inning. Hyannis needs 3 outs to take game 1. Stick with us on Bourne and Hyannis game 1, presented by Torino.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
3 more outs to get in the 9th for the Hawks. And back out is Dennis Colleran after a magnificent 8th inning.
Why wouldn't you bring him back out there if you're skipper Eric Beatty? 98 miles an hour sitting and then a slider that drops down 10 miles an hour. And while it's a 10-mile-an-hour difference, 98 to 88 is about some of the steepest change you can get at 10 miles an hour.
That slider just fooled Shufreda in the final pitch of the 8th inning, a guy that doesn't get that fooled very often. So Colleran has to deal with Vastine to lead off the inning, and it's immediately a pop fly foul. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, center cut.
If you're the Braves, this is the part of the lineup you want up right now to try and do some damage against these Harbor Hawks and get those 3 runs in response.
Everybody has a hit between the 3 hitters due up. A couple of them have multi-hit games. 1-1, fouled straight back. He was on the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. The great ball boys here at McKeon Park. And they travel with the Harbor Hawks as well, picking up the baseballs that go back to the backstop. 1-2, pop foul. Cross Sibley warming up in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Looks ready to go should Colleran run into a little bit of trouble. 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. He got him. A slider down in the dirt at 88. And Hyannis is 2 outs away.
We talked about that 10-mile-an-hour difference, Mickey. That's it in effect. You're dropping it down, and you have to start to speed up your bat rhythm there quickly. And for Colleran, doing a great job on the bump.
First pitch is down and away. Taking all the way is Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, who homered in the 3rd, singled in the 7th, and outside of that, a couple of ground balls to his name. Pitch on the way. It's called strike above the belt. Kuroda-Grauer is 5 for 10 in the playoffs entering today. 1-1, missed down, and now has that batting average up. He also drove in the winning run back on Saturday to put Bourne into the 2nd round. The sacrifice fly, that was the winning blow against the Catuit Kettleers, the best team in the league. And now the Braves staring down a Game 1 loss against Hyannis, but first a fastball finds the outer part of the plate, and the count runs full. 3-2 to JKG. Here's the pitch. Down and away for ball 4. He missed with a slider.
It's a hard take.
That is a great take, though.
By Kuroda-Grauer at 89. It's a steep, but it's shifting. Watches it right out of his hand. Does a great job of holding on the pitch. But now opening up the double play possibility.
So here's Bryce Eblin with a trio of singles on his line today. They finally got him out in the 7th with a fly out to center. First pitch, missed up. Kuroda-Grauer at first. They're still holding him on with Ike on the bag. A lot of times with a 3-run lead, you'll see teams relax off of first base, let him get a big lead if he wants it. Prioritize outs above runs. You're willing to trade a run for an out if you're Hyannis right now.
Have to be cognizant that Derek Bender stands in.
Oh, and there goes the bat towards the Bourne dugout. We saw it with Gavin Turley all throughout this year with Falmouth. Had a problem with the bat slipping out of his hand. And now it's Bryce Eblin throwing his bat at his own team's dugout. It went over. Nobody was in danger, but still a scary moment.
Yeah, Eblin lost his bat that went directly over our shed here at McKeon Park. He has to go get a new one, it looks like. As it left the premise. He's got to get more pine tar on it. And now, in this spot, Bryce Eblin lathered it in pine tar right there to make sure that doesn't happen again.
That bat went so far it went over the shipping container behind the Bourne dugout. And it's 1-2 now. We're finally set to get back to things here at McKeon. New pine tar on, still runner at first. That's Kuroda Grauer. Here's the pitch. Popped foul, a fastball above the letters. He went up and just fought off.
A 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And this is why you bring in Colleran. In the scouting report, that was something we talked about with Volkers, elevating a fastball. That's what Colleran has done right now. But in a 1-2 count again to come, it's a big spot.
1-2, ground ball, right side, and it gets through the gap between Ike and Hainline. And that means Bourne has brought the tying run to the plate in the form of the dangerous Derek Bender.
Still 2 outs to get if you're Dennis Colleran and this Harbor Hawks team. If you're the Bourne Braves, there's a little bit of breath of life on the other end.
And now the Bourne contingent that followed this team out to Hyannis gets loud as Bender fouls a fastball back.
Let's go Hawks! Let's go Hawks! Let's go Hawks! Let's go Hawks! Let's go Hawks!
And Hawks fans answering right back.
Let's go Hawks! Let's go Hawks! Yeah!
Swing and a miss by Bender, who finds himself in an 0-2 hole.
Fans, some have vacated the park, but many have stuck around.
Bender strikes out swinging. Another slider. Colleran dealing.
It's a great pitch. 87-mile-an-hour slider dropping down. Dennis Colleran has met the moment and more right now for the Harbor Hawks. But once again, still with 2 outs, Kendall Diggs represents the tying run for this Braves team. Still not a time to take a breath.
First pitch to Diggs is a called strike, up and in. 95 on the fastball. Colleran an inning and 2/3, looking to get the complete 2 innings. Fly ball to center. Mitchell walks in and makes the play. Hyannis has taken game 1.
It's a complete victory for this Hyannis Harbor Hawks team. Everyone contributed. There's not a player in the lineup tonight, especially if you look back in that 5th inning for the Hawks, that did not contribute in some way in this game tonight. They met the moment. You look to Dennis Colleran to come out of the bullpen and supply fabulous baseball. He does it, getting 98 miles an hour, shuts the door. We talked about the strength of the Harbor Hawks team was their bullpen. It showed today to be able to go out and get that victory. That's huge right now. We talk about game 1. That sets him up for 6 p.m. start tomorrow at Doran Park, having the series lead.
5 of the 6 batters that Colleran retired were via the strikeout. He was absolutely magnificent tonight, coming in a 1st and 2nd situation in the 8th and only allowing the 1 run. He's going to pick up the W tonight, and it's a well-deserved W.
A very well-deserved W indeed here tonight But once again, you still don't close out the series. You got to go get another one if you're the Hawks. And for Bourne, they're going to come with vengeance, and they're playing at Doran Park, a place they've played so well at. They're 14-9 through the regular season and the postseason. Be prepared for the Braves to come in ready and jazzed tomorrow at Doran Park. It's not going to be an easy feat, but Harbor Hawks take one step up to make themselves back since 2015.
For Bria Losick, Jacob Irons, our producers Braden Shank, Mackenzie Kielblock, Mike Maynard, Nico Sharp, Josh Schreiber, and Grant McNew, and Michael Kirsting. Our broadcast supervisors, Austin Dakuda and Abby Stokes. I'm Mickey Doolittle saying thank you so much for joining us tonight. Once again, final score 9-6, Hyannis wins. This has been the Cape Cod Baseball League and the Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family. There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family like my family. Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations. With 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future, T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.